It is Tuesday, January 20th. I almost said June 20th, but it's January 20th, 2026. It's time to get in the weeds. I'm Jeremy Lambert. That is SP3. It's my fault that we were late today. I apologize. It's been an evening. It's been a morning. It's been a night, but I'm alive allegedly. SP3 is here. How are you, buddy?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad Jeremy said that because usually I would get the blame because I usually am on Color People Time, but I was here before.
Nah, if I mess up, I take ownership. Had to do that last night, but I take ownership if I mess up or if I'm late or if it's my fault for something, and that's what happened. I'm late today. I'm not at my best. The last thing I told SP3 before I hit go live was let's do this show and hope it doesn't suck, and that's my mindset for today. Let's do the show and hope it doesn't suck.
I pick up the slack. We're going to have a great show today because it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It means we're going to talk some Monday Night Raw, which I would venture off to say, my first hot take, this was the first very good Raw of 2026. Other Raws was bad, the first Raw of the year. Last week was better, but still just fine. Joe Pearl, fine show. And then last night was actually very good because the Belfast crowd was awesome. We got an excellent main event, arguably the best WWE match of the year so far. Yes, the year is only 20 days old, but I'll take it. Finn Balor got his theme song back and his mojo back for one night. He's still a bum who loses, but he still was great last night. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about AJ Styles' career possibly coming to an end at the end of this month before his contract expires in February, second allegedly of the show. We're going to talk all about that, as well as Adam Pearce and his job being at stake, and as Paul Heyman puts the heat on him in the continued drama within the Vision. We're going to also talk about, I've watched the first 2 episodes of WWE Unreal, and yes, it is still very unreal. And yes, I have watched the R-Truth episode, so we will be talking about the clip that was released yesterday, the boos that Triple H received in Belfast, Ireland, which once again is affirmation that the boos he got at John Cena's final match had nothing really to do with John Cena's final match. It had to do with this guy sucking for 12 months straight. But we're going to talk about that. We'll also talk about, apparently I read the description as well. I'm doing my due diligence because I got to pick up the slack today. Did my due diligence, and apparently I'm talking about being live at Friday Night SmackDown this past Friday. I was in the building, Wembley Arena. I got to hang out with the McCarthy gang. It was a great time. I'll talk all about that as well. And I'll talk about the overall weekend where yesterday I actually watched like 4 great matches. And I feel like 2026 is going to be an incredible in-ring year. So I'm going to talk about some CMLL that I watch. I'll talk about the New Japan Pro Wrestling Road to New Beginning shows from Monday and this morning. We got a lot to talk about today, Jeremy. So don't worry. I got your back. I'll be Scottie Pippen when he dropped 30 when Jordan was not shooting well. That's how I will. I'm the Scottie Pippen to Jeremy's Michael Jordan.
I appreciate the compliment that I'm Jordan. Right now, I feel like Rodman after a weekend in Vegas has
You're Jordan after gambling all his money away.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I put in the description, you being live at SmackDown. I figured, you'd have live perspective. Maybe you want to mention a few things. So you don't have to talk about SmackDown if you don't want to.
No, it was a third straight good show. And I said this to Alex McCarthy. I was like, due to your bad mouthing and telling me a coward for going to SmackDown, I have really put back on my jersey. I was a long time. I'm an OG blue brand guy. Like when SmackDown was on underpaid Negroes, aka UPN, I was on the SmackDown bandwagon because I was like, I watched UPN for Homeboys in Outer Space, Moesha, and SmackDown. So I've been shooting in the SmackDown gym for a long time. When the brand split happened and The Rock went to SmackDown, and you had the SmackDown 6 and Triple H was sucking up the joint over on Monday Night Raw, I was with SmackDown. When SmackDown had the second major brand split in 2016 with SmackDown Live and Bryan Danielson as the GM and AJ Styles and John Cena on that show, I was a SmackDown guy. I was not messing with Monday Night Raw, even though I did like KO and Jericho. But that was the only thing I liked on the show in the women's division. That was the only thing I liked on that show. I was with SmackDown then, and now I'm putting back on my blue brand jersey because I'm shooting in the gym with SmackDown, which has been the superior WWE brand. So I will be talking about SmackDown live from Wembley Arena.
Jimmy Butler tore his ACL, SP3. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. I retweeted it this morning. It's like I'm glad I watched the whole thing, and I was like, I'm glad he was able to smile and talk some crap with Buddy Hield to kind of get his head out of like his, he was in pain. He's thinking about like what this means for his season, and he's out for the season now.
Career.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it might be it might do a lot of damage because he's an older guy. So it's like it's awful news because Jimmy Butler's one of the guys that make you love basketball. He's a guy that wasn't kind of pegged to be a superstar player, an all-star player, but he's always overachieved. He's always worked harder than anyone else or as much as anyone else on the court that he's been on. So I'm a big fan of Jimmy Bucket. So I hate seeing injuries like that end a season. And, he doesn't have he has more seasons behind him than ahead of him. So it's a bad thing for all of the NBA fans that Jimmy Butler is out for the season.
It is unfortunate. You never want to see anybody get injured. You never want to see anybody get injured. Something like that, especially like minor bruises and whatnot aren't too terrible. They suck, but all right, your day to day, it sucks. Hopefully you get better. Like torn ACL, you know what that means. That's end of season. And yeah, he's an older player. He's not a guy that like in his early career he had some explosiveness and athleticism. Later on, he's become just more crafty. I mean, like you wanna talk about foul grifters. I don't know if there's a bigger foul grifter than Jimmy Butler, honestly. So he can hopefully return and still be the crafty player, especially on the offensive end. His defense is going to take a hit though, and it was already slipping because of age. So it's just it's a tough situation, and hopefully hope for the best for Jimmy Butler. And now the Warriors are in a spot where I don't know, that team's not very good with him. They're a mediocre team with him. I shouldn't say not very good. Like they were a mid-level team with him. Now you're without him. Your whole offense already revolves around Steph. Now even more so. Your defense takes a hit, and that's that. So we'll see what the Warriors do. They still got Jonathan Kuminga, who is on the trade block, and we'll see what they get for him, if anything. I wonder if they're more likely to keep him now, just because he's definitely not Jimmy Butler, but he does something similar to Jimmy Butler, to where maybe they're like, all right, we can just put you in Jimmy Butler's role and see if this works out for us.
This might be the thing that gets him to keep his job on the Golden State Warriors, well, at least for the rest of the season. So we'll see what happens with the Warriors. Right now, they're an 8 seed at the bottom of the playoffs for the NBA, and very, very close to being like in the play-in, 9-10 seed if they can drop a couple of games. And they've been doing well. They've won 7 of their last 10. So it sucks that this is like really bad timing for the Warriors.
If people are saying, does Kuminga still get traded? It feels like the relationship with him and Steve Kerr is so bad that they kind of have to trade him at this point. Like it feels tough to be like, hey, you're only back here because Jimmy Butler got hurt. We still don't really want you. We still don't think you're a great player and you fit with us. But we just lost Jimmy Butler, and we feel, and you're the closest thing we have right now that can replicate him. So here you go. Good luck. Like, it just feels like the relationship behind the scenes and it is too far gone to make it fit on the basketball court. You know, it's not 2K. It's not like, I'm not going to use this guy until I get an injury and like, all right, now I need to use this guy, I guess. Like there's some real feelings here with these things. So I gotta let my cat out. Hold on.
No worries. But yeah, I could see Kuminga sticking around, but it would only be for the rest of the season. He's definitely getting shipped out. If it's not by the trade deadline, then it's definitely in the off season, because I think that their relationship between Steve Kerr and Kuminga is it's unfixable at
irreconcilable. I think is the
irreconcilable.
I don't think I said that right either.
Yeah, I mean,
trying.
I didn't even try. I went with unfixable. This one, it can't be repaired at this point. So I think that they have to like cut their losses, and like I said, it's either going to be by the trade deadline or by the offseason.
I think it'll be by the trade deadline, which is only a couple weeks away, believe it or not.
I know.
Like,
we already know who's the all-star starters, and if you want to know how much better the West is compared to the Eastern Conference, take a look at those starters. Oh my God.
If you want to know how much better the world team is compared to the USA team, take a look at the starters. Because all they're going to do is they're going to flip Giannis for Steph, and then that's the starting lineup for the USA and the world. So,
but isn't there one more than there's going to be 4 teams, right?
No, there's 3. There's 2 USA teams. Yeah, there's 2 USA, 1 world teams. Yeah.
The world is winning. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you got Wemby, you got Jokic, you got SGA, you got Luka, you got Giannis. Like, what are we talking about here?
The world is definitely a much better team. I don't think there's much debating that. It's how serious are they going to take this All-Star game? Luka and Jokic don't care about the All-Star game. They mail that in every single year. I mean, Wemby, how much is he going to care?
I think he's going to care because this is like one of his first few All-Star games. I think he's going to have fun, but he's still going to be like, yeah, you know what? I want the world to win.
If Chet makes the team on the USA team, then he'll care about that game at the very least. I don't know how much some of these guys. I think Giannis is probably going to care. Shea will care to an extent, but we'll see how much these guys care once the game starts. I feel like for the first year, since this is the first year of the USA World format, like they'll care a little bit. Yeah. But next year it's probably going to be the same as before. Of like, why do
they're gonna have to come up with like different formats every year? It seems like to get the players to care a little bit more, but. We shall see how it goes down. Other thing I wanted to mention, but before I'd mention that, remember guys, drop the thumbs up on the video. It helps out the YouTube algorithm and all that good stuff. You can sound off in the comments section if you're watching us on demand. If you are new to Fightful Overbook, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. We're here every single weekday, 10 a.m.-ish Eastern time for In the Weeds, talking about everything in the world of pro wrestling and, of course, the NBA on Tuesdays and Thursdays when it's me and Jeremy. And as well, sound off in the live chat. If you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, send a super chat donation. Goes a long way to help all the other contributors here on Fightful Overbook, because it's not just In the Weeds. You got Coexisting with Rob and Maggie every Friday. You got Jeremy and Jensen every Thursday on the Spotlight. We got shorts. We got clips from In the Weeds. There's a bunch of great stuff. Let's help the channel grow and move forward as we're on our way to 20K. But the other reason you guys got to watch In the Weeds It's because I am pretty much Negrodamus at this point. Because my voodoo magic can work in mysterious ways. Because I was up on here about a month ago, and I said, after the NBA Cup, I was like, the New York Knicks, they're the favorite to win the Eastern Conference. And ever since I uttered those words, it has been a downfall. And I have been loving my social media because I have so many Nick followers and accounts that I follow, and there's people in the wrestling media game like Kazim, like Ibu, who are Knicks fans, and they are hating their life right now because the Knicks are on a horrible downfall. And you welcome Knicks haters. I represent all of you Knicks haters who make this possible.
It is.
I made this possible. Anything's possible.
It is amazing how far they've fallen since the NBA Cup. It's not good to win the NBA Cup. I've been saying this. I mean, the facts are there. You win the NBA Cup and your season doesn't turn out how you hope it does. You know, the first round exits. That's what we've had from the last two winners from the NBA Cup. Knicks, I think they'll figure some stuff out, mainly because the East isn't that great. And I still think their team their team on paper is still fairly good. Look, we talked about it when they fired Thibodeau and hired Mike Brown. And it's like, all right, was Thibodeau the main issue? Maybe. He certainly had his issues. Was he the biggest problem? I don't know. He got them to the Eastern Conference Finals, and if they don't blow game one in the manner that they did, who knows where they go from there. So was he the biggest issue? I don't know. If you're going to fire him, fine. Mike Brown was your solution? Mike Brown, the guy who's like done nothing as a head coach? Like that was your solution?
That was the one thing. But I also think, because like you said, the NBA Cup winners have gone on to lose in the first round. But we hadn't seen anything like this where they have gone like a 360, like go on a lose to 9 of their last 12 or 9 of their last 11 after winning the NBA Cup. And I really feel like Louis in the chat is right. I said it too. I said that too. When I talked about them being the favorite to win the East, I was like, why the Knicks have not raised any banner in Madison Square Garden since 1972. Why are you not raising the NBA Cup banner? The precedent is there. The Los Angeles Lakers with 17 championship banners. Their last one in 2020. They raised the cup banner. The Milwaukee Bucks with their championship in 2021. They rose the banner. You guys are too good. We're gonna wait for the NBA championship. You got what you deserve. Don't disrespect the very prestigious NBA Cup, because you know what happens? The lowly Dallas Mavericks done smacked that booty last night. God damn.
The Knicks' offense has really fallen off. People like talk about their defense, and their defense isn't very good. But you guys got to look at their offense and how bad that's gotten since the NBA Cup. Jalen Brunson turns the ball over like every other possession. Now, they don't hit shots. They don't have much going. Again, their offense isn't very good. Their offense was carrying them for the first couple of months, and that's why they looked so good, even though their defense wasn't great then either. And now, like, when their offense isn't going, and their defense is looking even worse, because if you're not putting the ball in the hoop, then you don't have time to set your defense and everything. And so their offense has got to figure things out. You know, this whole we're just going to run a bunch of freestyle offense for everything. Like, you got to have some structure out there. And right now they don't look like they got a ton of structure with everything. King Potato, we did talk about Jimmy Butler, rewind a a little bit. We talked about him and what it means for the Warriors. I still go back to, you hired Mike Brown as the guy who you thought was gonna like fix things. You know,
It's like
Mike Brown hasn't done anything.
You fired Tibbs to get a guy that is like the antithesis of Tibbs. Tibbs is a defensive coach who was on a very pro offensive team. So you wanted to get an offensive coach to basically bolster that offense. And the Knicks looked good. They looked like they were an improved offensive team for the first half of the season and through the NBA Cup. But I told you when I went to that Orlando game in Madison Square Garden, my first live NBA game in years, and I was like, dude, I literally, like, it was like third quarter, and I saw Orlando Magic go out there and just get to the rim every single time. And they made like a few, but they kept missing. And I look at my nephew, and my nephew played, he played high school basketball, he played college basketball, he played AAU, I played AAU, I played high school basketball, and I just looked at him, I was like, we could probably go out there and score on the Knicks. Like the Knicks are like traffic cones. They let everybody pass them by. Like they play no defense. How I emphasize Jokic played no defense, but Jokic is an offensive machine. He's the greatest offensive player I think I've ever seen in NBA history. The Knicks offense wasn't that good. They were good. They were very good, a top 10 offense in the league. But if that goes off, or if that goes off the rails, if your point guard is turning over the ball, if guys are missing open shots, it's all gonna fall apart. It's like a house of cards that falls apart, and that's what we're seeing from the Knicks as of late.
Somebody asks, is Jalen Brunson overrated? It depends on where you rate Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson.
Bleacher Report with another awful list when they listed the top 10 2025 players, and they had Jalen Brunson at number 4. 4?
Well, then, yeah, he's overrated.
Yeah, then he would be overrated. Yeah, I would say yes, because if you've got outlets like that saying he's number 4 for 2025, and I was like, maybe you could put him in the top 10 for sure for what he did throughout the entire, calendar year with a nice run in the playoffs, and then how he was looking in the first half of the season and winning the NBA Cup. You could put him in the top 10, but to make him 4? They had Luka at like 8. I was like, what are we doing? I know Luka missed a couple of games in the first half of 2025, but he only missed like a month and a half. And he played great in the rest of the regular season when he came back from the Lakers last season. And then he had a great first half of this season when it was Austin Reeves on the court and not LeBron James. But anyway, like he's a top 10. Jalen Brunson is a top 10 guy. I would say even at points of this regular season, he's been a fringe top 10 guy. I think when I rated my top 10 guys, I think I had him at like 12, 13. That's fine. But to make him 4?
Yeah, he's definitely not 4th. That's a little high. But I mean, Bleacher Report thought Taylor Horton Tucker was better than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just because he played for the Lakers. So I don't trust anything they say after that. After that one, it's like,
I've been trying to get Bleacher Report. If it wasn't for a couple of my friends working at Bleacher Report, I would want Bleacher Report to be out of business after they put Kobe Bryant at number 11 in their top greatest players of all time.
Yeah, we talked about that one. So
yeah.
Jules saying is he Jaylen Brown? Well, I mean, if he was
Jaylen Brown, Jaylen Brown is a top 10 player to me in this, especially this season.
Yeah, I mean, if he was number 4, then yeah, he was ahead of Jaylen Brown. I imagine the only people ahead of Brunson were Shai, Jokic, and Giannis. If you said he was ahead of Luka, that would have to be it.
I want to say it was Giannis at 3, but I'm not even sure. I think there was someone else that was like weird, and everybody was like, "What?"
Oh. Jaylen Brown's been great this year. I don't know about MVP, but he's been great this year. He should be in the conversation for MVP. I will say that.
Yeah.
But if Jokic is going to miss enough games, then Shai's going to be the MVP without question.
I think right now Shai's percentage to win the MVP is 67%.
Yeah,
because
it's
ever since Jokic has been out, he's like rose up tremendously. I think he's gonna win back to back.
yeah. I'd be surprised if he didn't win MVP. And it, part of it is obviously Jokic being hurt. The other part of it is like I don't think people. It's not that the Thunder are a bad team. Obviously, like they're not. I don't think people understand just like how banged up they've actually been. Like Dub has played 10 games, 12 games. He got hurt again, unfortunately. Isaiah Hartenstein's missed a bunch of games. A lot of our depth guys have missed a bunch of games. And Shea's been the one constant, and we still have the best record, and we still have, the best defense and a great net rating and all this stuff. But it's largely because of Shea. And I don't think people realize, like, it's very fun to be like, oh, super team, super team, super team, until all these dudes start missing shots and can't play on offense, and our defense slips for a week, and it's like, yeah, you realize how just like good the team is as a whole, but if something goes wrong for just a game or so, where we no longer look like this amazing super team. So it's gonna be Shea, and that's gonna be that.
Yeah. I think Vancouver Brown's been a top 5 MVP candidate.
Yeah,
Jaylen Brown. He's been great. Jokic is still probably in the top 3. I think Wemby needs to be consideration for top 5 MVP. And I think also, besides like the Jokic being out, it's the fact that the Nuggets are still great without him, because of Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's had this bounce back season. I think that also hurts Jokic MVP credentials, because it's like, does this team really need you to be a top 4 team in the Western Conference? Because they've played pretty well without you even. So yeah, I think people were underestimating the team around Jokic before he went out.
They always did that to effectively prop up his MVP case. It's like, you don't need to do that to prop up his MVP case. His MVP case speaks for itself. Like, why? I never liked the argument of like, why is Shea punished for having good teammates, and Jokic, you make it seem like he's playing with a bunch of like G League dudes. Oh, he's never played with an all-star. Well, yeah, because all-star voting is stupid, and Jamal Murray, who's still one of the top point guards in the league, never made an all-star game. That doesn't mean he's a bad player because he's never been an all-star. Aaron Gordon is a very good player. When they had Michael Porter Jr., you see how good he is, but he was a very good player. Like, they've had very good players, similar to the Thunder. It's like they have very good players, and that doesn't take away from what Jokic is doing and from what Shea is doing. Like, it's been nice to see the Nuggets playing this well, because they were disrespected when it's like, oh, they would be nothing without Jokic. Like, they can't even tie their shoes without Jokic directing them on what to do. Okay, over, loop, swoop, pull. Like, they wouldn't know how to do this if it wasn't for the mastermind, Nikola Jokic. It's like, nah, man, these dudes are NBA players, and they're really good. And so I'm glad to see them succeed to this level without him. But I don't think that hurts how good Jokic is. I don't think that hurts his MVP case either. Because obviously if guys go down, guys got to step up. Like, obviously if Jokic is down, Jamal Murray's going to have to score more. He's going to have to distribute more. Peyton Watson's going to have to score more. Aaron Gordon's going to have to score more. Like, you got to replace these points somehow. It's the same thing with everybody. That's why, like, how often do we see when a team is missing their stars, they like win that game? Because it's like, one, you can't really prepare for a bunch of role players a lot of times, and because you don't know who's going to get hot when it comes to this stuff. And two, it's like, well, they're still an NBA team. They still got to score points, and if a 30-point scorer is out, those 30 points, or at least 25 of them, got to come from somewhere. So yeah, other people are going to look good in this. It never made sense to like talk down about the Nuggets just to like prop up Jokic. Like, both can be great. The Nuggets can be a great team. Jokic doesn't win a championship by himself. He had a very good team around him. And Shea doesn't win a championship by himself. He has a very good team around him. But you don't have to talk down about the team just to be like, see, this is they would be nothing without these guys.
Yeah, but people tend to do that all the time,
Oh
it
yeah.
seems. I did finish watching Starting Five. Great watch. I would suggest it for any NBA fans. You grow in appreciation for a lot of the players, and I grow in appreciation for Shea. Kind of seeing him in his home life, seeing how he like celebrated winning the championship. It was hilarious. Dub came out the car and he was like, "I don't drink, but I had 5 tequila shots." He's like, "I'm living life." He's like, "I feel like I'm flying." It was great. It was great seeing how they celebrated that championship last season. But it's like that was in the same episode where you had the juxtaposition of seeing that, celebration and elation of the Thunder, and then they like really focused that episode on Tyrese going down in Game 7, and like I almost teared up because he is such like a likable guy. You can seeing him throughout the season, seeing him with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend trying to like give him hints to give her a ring, and he's making plans to get engaged to her, and then how he went down, and seeing like the heartbreak of not only him but his family. His dad was crying in the locker room. I love like Shea coming to him and giving him a hug after the game, and showing that brotherhood. And like he was talking to Shea, was like, I couldn't even imagine if that was me. Like that's, I know, like me, he was thinking about this game as the biggest game of his whole entire life. And yeah, man, that was a really good series. Like I grew appreciation for everybody a part of Starting Five. I'm disappointed that we're not going to get a season 3 this season, but hopefully they bring it back in the future. And no, I'm not sleeping on the Pistons. The Pistons are still young. I will say, I think that the Pistons have to be considered the favorite in the Eastern Conference because they are the number 1 seed and they are one of the best defenses in all of the NBA, but they're still young. Like, I feel like they're the Thunder of 2024. They're not the Thunder of 2025 yet.
I noticed a lot of people after Starting Five came out, they were like, O'Shea actually seems like a halfway decent person, and it's kind of hard to hate on him just because he draws a lot of fouls on the basketball court. It's like, oh, this dude just like seems to love his wife, seems to love his son, and just likes to play basketball. Yeah, loves his teammates, likes to play basketball. And yeah, when they showed the Halliburton clip, like a lot of even Pacers fans are like, man, it's tough to hate on this dude where like the first thing he does is go back to see Halliburton and check on him with everything. Yeah. And I do love the quote from Shea's like, I don't know why people hate on me. I show up, I drop 30, I win, I go home. Like, that's it. That's all I do. It's like, yeah, like he's not a dude that like, yeah, where I realize how fortunate like I am to, as a fan of the team, to have a face of the franchise that like acts in this way, because you have other teams and with other stars and other faces of the franchise that do not act in this way, and maybe their team
White Leonard. Oh, excuse me. I have a cold.
Maybe their team isn't as good because of it. But it's like he's just seems like a humble down. It must be the Canadian in him. Just a humble, down to earth dude who just likes to hoop and likes to, and wants to get better with everything, and isn't settling for, all right, 1 championship, 1 finals MVP. Like, that's it. I've completed basketball. It's like, no, let's go after more out here. So I do like that show kind of brought him into a different light. Now, of course, he gets on the court and he draws like fouls, and people are like, oh, he's a grifter and he sucks and he's overrated and whatever. But if you actually just like learn about Shea, like, all right, yeah, seems like a decent person. Seems like a good dude with everything. And the Clippers are playing well, unfortunately. Yeah. We gotta trade that pick now. Yeah, we gotta trade that pick now. Be like, maybe this pick isn't going to be quite as good as we thought. Let's get out of it around here.
That's funny.
All right. I do have a banner. I don't know if I have a poll question, but I do have a banner. There's the banner for everybody. If you kind of get it, you'll get it. If you don't get it, don't worry about it. Don't Google at work.
Don't Google that name.
No, don't Google at work. Although you might get a lot of ESPN showed her plenty last night. So
I heard she was very upset with the Miami Hurricane losing.
Yeah, Shout out to you, Louie. I know you're an Indiana fan. That was a really fun game last night. I'm just glad the game was good. Again, if someone has no rooting interest in this stuff, I was concerned Indiana might make it look a little too easy because of the way they played. But credit to Miami, they played tough last night, and a couple things go a different way. It's a different game, but Indiana, man, look, Mendoza, that was a hell of a run. I don't know how good he's gonna be in the NFL. I'm sure. I mean, now I guess people are worried about that, but last night obviously people weren't worried about that. But that was a hell of a run, and that defense was really good, and yeah, it was a good game, and that's all I hope for as a fan of neither team, just a neutral party fan. Henry said it feels like he'll be all right as a starter, maybe. I don't know, like when I watch, I'm not claiming to watch him all season. I basically only pay attention to college football at bowl season time. So I don't know how he looked against these other teams. And bowl season, which is the best teams playing, like he made some good throws. He didn't like super impress me with the way he played. Now he feels kind of Tebow-ish with how he plays, of like a good college quarterback who's a very good leader and whose teammates seem to really love and respect. And maybe it's because he has to praise God after every play, much like Tebow did. And his teammates seem to love and respect and everything. But as far as like actual skill, he just seems like a decent quarterback, not a guy that is gonna like alter your franchise. But how often do these teams miss on quarterbacks anyway when it comes to like first round and high draft picks with everything? Yeah, he's a very accurate passer. I also think there's a difference in college accuracy and pro accuracy, and I think that it just might be a struggle for him. And look, if he goes to the Raiders, it's going to be a struggle for him because that team sucks and they can't block.
They got no offensive line, yeah.
Anybody. Like they can't block anybody. So I don't know. Like I hope it works out for him. Like I'm not pretending to be some talent evaluator at the quarterback position, honestly. But if he plays great, then great. But I don't know.
Who you got in the NFL, the Final Four? I'm going with the All-Western Conference Super Bowl. I'm going with the Broncos to pull off the upset against the Patriots, and I'm going again with the. I always say if my teams aren't in a certain sport, like if the Yankees get eliminated, I always say I'm going with the Dodgers. I got to stick with LA because I'm a Lakers fan. I'm going with LA in the NFL. I'm going with the Rams to beat the Seahawks, even though the Seahawks, god damn, they put the ass kicking on the 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, with the 49ers, I mean, they were just so banged up. They were so banged up. And I didn't think that game was going to be super close. But I thought the 49ers, with their coaching and just how they play, could make it a little competitive. I picked, before the playoffs, Patriots and Rams as Super Bowl. I got no reason to move off that at this point because both teams are in the Final Four. So why would
25 years in the making.
Yeah,
that was the last time the Rams and the Patriots were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Patriots and the Rams have never been to the Super Bowl in so long. Long life suffering is about over for these fan bases. Yeah, I don't. The Broncos' defense is good. They also, I mean, they didn't look great against Buffalo. They didn't look great against Jacksonville a few weeks ago, just before the playoffs started. So I think there's some holes there. The Patriots defense is also good. I don't know how Jarrett Stidham's going to do, and is the backup quarterback coming in there. And like their offense wasn't even that great with Bo Nix. So how's Jarrett Stidham going to look? I think that I got to go with, Colin. What's up, Colin? Hope you're doing well, buddy. I gotta go with the Patriots still, and then the Seahawks are going to be tough. I just kind of trust Stafford more than I trust Darnold. But that Seahawks defense is really, really good. And the Rams offense has been fairly good, but the Panthers defense isn't great, and the Bears defense isn't great, and they didn't do as well as I thought they were gonna put 50 on that Bears defense, and they didn't. So the Seahawks defense can definitely shut down Stafford and the Rams. I do think the Rams defense is a little bit better than given credit for, and I don't know how great the Seahawks offense is. I hope for good games. That's all. My team's out. I just want good games. I don't want blowouts.
I just want to be like Rasheed Wallace. Both teams played hard. Did you see the tribute to both teams played hard from Missoula the other week? What was it, last week?
No.
When he was like, I think he was, what did he say? I think it was like illegal screen. Yeah, he kept saying illegal screen. Every question.
I did see that. Yeah,
what did you think about this?
That was after not the Warriors game. Was it the Warriors game? I don't remember who they played, but I did. I did see that. Remember. Yeah, I did see that. I miss you as well, Colin. Again, I hope you're doing well, man. Hope things are going well for you. Yeah, I did see Missoula say illegal screen after
that popped me. I was like, this is great. This is a great tribute to Rasheed Wallace and one of the all-time great post game pressers in sports history. Both teams played hard.
Yeah. All right, poll question for today. We're very deep into this show, and I don't actually have a poll question. Do you have a poll question, SP3? You want to come up with something on the fly here?
I mean, we could keep it to wrestling based and say,
what if we go favorite?
Will AJ Styles retire?
What if we go favorite a Bella Danger show?
Oh God, no! I'm not doing that. I'm not
favorite a Bella Danger movie.
No, I'm good. I'm not touching that. Not touching that.
I'd have to like Google names of these things, and that'll get me in trouble. Like that'll ruin my browser history.
I'm doing that. Not doing that, sir. No.
Zarian, is she a nice lady? What can you tell us about her?
Zarian. Yeah, what can you tell us about Bella Danger? How well do you know her?
Cody saying I got links. Zarian says very sweet and easy to work with. There you go. She seems nice. I mean,
what did you work with her at? What were you doing together?
We don't need to give up Zarian's shoot job here. All right. She seems nice, you know?
Hey, man, Bella Danger's nice. Sasha Grey, she can't act, but she seemed nice on Entourage.
How dare you? Entourage was
she was not good. She was not good
No.
in Entourage. Oh my God, that's why everyone universally recognized season 7 as the worst season of Entourage. A lot of that comes down to the horrible acting of Sasha Grey.
I mean, I don't watch Entourage for the acting anyway. Come on now. What are we doing?
But it was also a depressing season because Vinny was on Coke the whole season. So and then he got punched out by Slim Shady. That's one of the best endings to a season, though. When he's leaving the hospital and he's mad at his old friends and it's like, we need to talk. He was like, talk to my lawyer. And he's like, we need to talk about this. And it's like, oh, and that's how they ended. And then we don't see them for like another year. Like, what? And then we get like this kind of madame in season 8. Oh man, I can talk about my disappointment with season 7 and 8 of Entourage all day. They should have just ended after season 6. Season 6 was the perfect ending to just end it off there and then do the movie, but they decided to run 2 more seasons.
I remember we did Entourage rewatch for a while, and then things got in the way, as they typically do. Yeah. And I remember like the first 4
to maybe 5 seasons vividly that I don't have to rewatch it, and I could still probably do a solid review on them.
Yeah. Hey, your memory's good on that stuff. Mine's not. I do remember in like bits and pieces of stuff. Like I knew I could not have told you like what the Sasha Grey season actually was. Like you could have told me it was season 3. I knew it wasn't that early, but you could have told me it was like season 5, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, that sounds about right. So I don't remember.
This is how I
recognize.
recognize. This is how I remember things. Season 1, Queens Boulevard. I always go by what movie Vinny is doing each season. Yeah. So season 2 is Aquaman. Season 3 is the fallout for Aquaman. He wants to do Medellin, but then everything falls apart, and he winds up leaving Ari because that's the one that's broken up by 2 seasons. He leaves Ari at the end of season 3, part 1. He has the whole Amanda relationship and her as the agent in the part 2, and then he gets back with Ari by the end of that. Then season 4 is the filming of Medellin and all the Medellin, and builds up to the finale where Medellin bombs at Cannes Film Festival. And then season 5 is basically the rebuild season when he's getting the firefighter movie, and then it ends off with him getting the Scorsese movie. Season 6 is he bounces back, he has the Scorsese movie, he's about to do the F1 movie that doesn't come out till like 15 years later in real life. I love how every one of these movies that he did, they have like a real life version of it afterwards. Like Aquaman, we got an Aquaman movie. Medellin, we got Narco. It's like, it's crazy how Entourage predicted all of this stuff. And then he did the Martin Scorsese movie is actually The Great Gatsby that comes out like years later as well. So yeah, season 6 was that, and season 6 was mostly focused on E, because E moves out of the house. He has his whole Sloane. He had broken up with Sloane in season like 3, part 2, and then he's like, Sloane gets him his own apartment. Then he's with the crazy chick, the clingy chick that's always around, and I hated her so much. And then eventually he gets back with Sloane by the end of the season. And that they should have just ended it there. Season 6, everybody's good. That was the same season where Turtle is with what's her name?
Jamie Lynn Sigler.
Yeah, Jamie Lynn. I was gonna call her by her soprano name, but yeah, you're right. Jamie Lynn Sigler.
Yeah. Meadow, yeah.
Meadow Soprano. Yeah. Because season 5 is when they take the plane ride and she gives him a hand job.
Yes, yeah, I do remember that. So there you go. People can go back and watch Entourage if you would like. All right, what was your poll question suggestion? Since we're not going to go favorite Abella Danger movie.
Will AJ Styles retire at the Royal Rumble?
Okay. All right, yes or no? Or this is what we do. Yeah. You said you've seen the first couple episodes of Unreal. I've only seen like the clips going around. But what are your thoughts so far on the first 2 episodes?
It's very much akin to season 1. The first episode, really a lot of focus on Becky Lynch. So I was here for that. I was like, oh, we doing a Becky Lynch focus? Oh, go on, sign me up. That was really good. And she did confirm. I thought the biggest news to come out of it, I messaged it to the Sports Illustrated chat this morning. I was like, I think the biggest news out of episode 1 is Becky confirming that this contract that she signed is her final contract with WWE, or she plans for it to be her final contract with WWE. So that was nice, and like seeing her return and seeing like the backstage environment and how basically she came back with the purpose was to get Lyra Valkyria over, which is why we get the heel turn. They show the matchup at Backlash and how well it was and how everybody received it as the best match of the night. It was by like very far margin. Then they focused on Pat McAfee and his match against Gunther, and I'm just like, yo, Bruce Pritchard, why is he still in the creative room? Because this man don't have no good ideas. I'm sorry, I have to be the person to say it. Like, this dude, if they listened to Bruce Pritchard, Pat McAfee was gonna win that match. Thank God. What's his name? Backstrom, Jonathan Backstrom, who's now the head writer for Raw. He was the one that said, like, That doesn't make any sense. Why would Gunther said he's gonna be more focused? He's refocused after losing to Jey Uso, and then he loses to Pat McAfee, our color commentator. I was like, thank you. I was like, someone got some brains in this room, because these people, no one was saying anything after Bruce said it, so they would have went with Pat McAfee winning at Backlash. Oh my God, Bruce Pritchard, you should not be in the creative room. Why didn't you continue your podcast? Everybody was talking so positive about Bruce Pritchard years ago when he was just doing his podcast. Ever since he's got back into the creative room, he has contributed nothing but awful stuff. And we still have a Vince yes man in a power position in this company. What are we doing? No. The wacky ideas come from Ed Koskey. Ed Koskey is the one who said Chelsea Green should just come out in the Royal Rumble at number 30. Everyone's eliminated. She's win. That's the type of wacky ideas we need. That's good stuff. Bruce Pritchard does not contribute anything positive at all.
I don't know. Like, I know this show, you say yourself, the show is unreal, and it is very unreal. I'm not trying to give Bruce a pass on this stuff, because he's clearly, like, the ideas he presents aren't very good. A lot of stuff. I do wonder just how much he's just like throwing out there, because he knows he's being filmed and it's a television show, and it's like, what if I just say that Gunther should lose to Pat McAfee? What's going to happen here? It's like he wants to just throw out the contrarian idea and see what happens. And I mean, sometimes they go with it, which isn't great. And then other times, they don't go it and they realize, yeah, this is kind of a stupid idea. Like, I just don't, it's tough for me to just buy anything on this show when it comes, especially the writer's room stuff, because this is one thing we do know about the writer's room. Everything gets pitched, right? Like, everything throughout history, since the writer's room became a thing, since Vince hired 50,000 writers and it stopped just being him and Pat Patterson by the pool like the old days. Like, since they hired all of these writers, you listen to any story from anybody in the writer's room, you listen to any story from any wrestler, they all say, like, yeah, that probably got pitched. It never made it to me, but this is something that they probably did talk about in the writer's room. I think everything gets pitched on there. Like, I'm sure on the cutting room floor, there's footage of, Money in the Bank, and it's like, well, what if Andrade wins the match? What if we did that? What if, they did the LA Knight stuff. I don't know if you saw those clips with LA Knight, and he looks completely just like depressed when he's being told about the finish and everything. He just looks like, oh, yeah, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, like he's not doing he's doing
Yeah. I watched like the beginning of episode 3, which is the Vision episode. So I expect that's going to be about like further with Money in the Bank, because they started with Money in the Bank in episode 2, because they started talking about Naomi and R-Truth were the focus of episode 2, which was probably I think, like, I haven't watched the last 3 episodes, but I'm pretty certain this will probably be the best episode or the most talked about episode, because it already was with the clip that came out of, can we just talk about this clip? This clip is just
I've
like
seen the clip. It
is WWE's lack of self-awareness and arrogance on full display. Triple H's whole explanation for the R-Truth thing that he said, it's all part of the show. Did you enjoy the show? All part of the show. But now it's, he didn't want to, we couldn't come to a figure, so we said, if you're not willing to come to us, then we're gonna let you go. You're gonna let your contract expire, and we're gonna let you go. And it sounded like he very much still seems upset talking about it. Well, that R-Truth beat them in negotiations by going to social media. That is, I hate the fact that we can't get the real R-Truth like talking about this. We have to get R-Truth under WWE contract talking about this, because I would have loved for R-Truth to be like, yeah, I went there. Yeah, that was the only they left me with no other option than to go online and be like, I've been released. Like, yo, I love R-Truth. Like hearing that and just the lack of self-awareness from WWE, not realizing how bad they look in this situation and how good R-Truth looks because he beat the Empire in contract negotiations. This is wonderful. This is great for me.
I don't think Triple H is lying when he says R-Truth was never not under contract. I do think there is truth in that he was under contract. They tried to negotiate. They couldn't come to an agreement. R-Truth said, I got released, which wasn't true. His contract, they couldn't come to an agreement, so they weren't going to renew it. But he was still under contract. But obviously they were going to bench him, and much like they did with Corbin, much like they did with Sonya. Like once their contract is coming up and they know they're not going to renew it, they effectively bench it. They kind of did the same thing with Cross. I mean, Cross at least got there until SummerSlam.
They literally did it with Carlito at the same time. At the same time, the same day that Truth came out with his tweet, Carlito came out with his tweet. Yeah. It's that we didn't get We Want Carlito chance, we got We Want Truth chance.
Yeah, so like they were just gonna bench him until his contract did expire, and then he did get released. Instead, yeah, we got the We Want Truth chance, and then within a week they came to a new agreement. I do think again Triple H is being truthful when he says, well, he was never not under contract. The problem is his telling of it is, and the whole it's all part of the show thing is a complete lie, in that it wasn't part of the show. And yeah, you got outmaneuvered by R-Truth. Like you got completely outmaneuvered by a dude who you have
saying it.
Yeah, a dude who you have told your audience for the last 10, 15 years is the dumbest person in the world because he gets the city wrong, he gets the match wrong, he gets it whatever. Like you've told everybody that R-Truth is dumb as hell, and he outmaneuvered you here because Triple H confirmed it. Harlem, what's up?
You made a mess. What, do you have soda all over your shirt?
Yes.
say hi to your friend.
Hi.
What's his name?
Jeremy.
Yeah.
How are you, Harlem?
I just spilled chocolate sauce
Oh no.
on my t-shirt.
Okay.
Oh.
Go change your t-shirt, all right? I'll see you in a little bit. Yeah, it's a mess. She got it on the back of her shirt and the front of
her. Bless Harlem. So when he comes out and tells the story of like, well, yeah, we negotiated and, we couldn't come to an agreement, and we were like, all right, well, we're not going to budge off of things. Then he went to social media. It's like, yeah, he went to social media and created a complete backlash and created a complete upswell to the point where you were like, well, shit, now we got to pay this man more money, even though I got I don't want to use him at all. And it's very clear based on what they've done with him since re-signing that they don't want to use him.
It is so funny at the end of the episode, Trick talk about, I get to reinvent myself, and it wouldn't be possible if everything didn't happen how it happened. And I'm just like, yeah, that reinvention lasted about a month.
Yeah. Yeah, then they flip John Cena back, and then they're like, oh, now we can just flip R-Truth back and that whole thing, and now we're never going to put R-Truth on TV again, because that's effectively that's what Triple H is really mad about. Is like, wait, we got to pay this guy more money to effectively sit in catering because I don't actually have an idea of what to do with him. Like, I'm not going to put him on TV. I don't have any desire to put him on TV. It is something. It really is. It really is something with the. So I've seen that clip. Is that they put that out for like the teaser and everything. Yeah. I saw the clip where they're talking about Chelsea Green and being the women's U.S. champion, and Triple H asked Road Dogg like, "Well, if we put the title back on her, who's she gonna work with?" And Road Dogg was just like, no one."
Oh, it was funny with Road Dogg in the Truth episode. He was very adamant. Like they pitched for Truth to shave his head during the John Cena feud. That was Truth basically going to Road Dogg, and it was nice to kind of see their longtime relationship. They showed footage from them recording "Getting Rowdy" back in 2001, and Truth talks about how Road Dogg put his reputation on the line to get him called up to the main roster because he wasn't really doing anything. And I did appreciate freaking our Road Dogg's self-deprecation, because he was like, he got over because of his talking ability. He was never good in the ring. And I was like, I appreciate your self-awareness that you were never good in the ring. I wish you had self-awareness that you're not very good at writing wrestling either. But we got to take what we can get. But I enjoyed like them talking about their relationship, how emotional Road Dogg was when Truth came back because he wasn't told about it, and they showed Triple H telling the certain people, and he didn't tell Logan Paul and Jey Uso before the tag team matchup that Truth was coming out. So you get a genuine like reaction from Logan Paul. He's like, "Oh, Truth!" He's like, "Man," and Triple H was like, "Oh, I meant to tell you before you went out. I just forgot." That was cool. All of those moments that they catch in like the gorilla position is actually pretty fun. But like a Road Dogg was very adamant, and he was, maybe he was probably more than likely, but 90% sure he was putting on a show because of the camera. But you could tell there was some piece of like genuine frustration when he's trying to pitch certain things for the R-Truth and John Cena feud heading into Saturday night's main event. He's like, I just want to make this more than it is. Like, we're not doing anything. And I'm like, this is honesty, like from WWE. It's like, we're not doing anything to make this feel important. I was like, yes, I agree with Road Dogg. I can't believe I'm saying this in the year of our Lord 2026, but I agree with a lot what Road Dogg is saying here.
I mean, that's how, when you want to talk about honesty with everything. So going back to the Chelsea Green clip where they're talking about putting the U.S. title back on her, and Road Dogg's like, Chelsea's Green got something. Let's get the title back on her. Even Triple H is like, all right, well, if we put the title back on her, he's like, I'm not saying Chelsea's not great. She is great. She does have something. Who's she working with? Like the baby faces are Zelina Vega, Michin, and BFAB. It's the same people she's already worked with. So who's she working with? And Road Dogg's like, yeah, same people. I get it. But I still think we should put the title back on Chelsea. Like, why don't you make somebody for her to work with here? Exactly. Even Triple H realized of like, okay, we can do this, but who's she working with? And I mean, they did put the title back on Chelsea for like 2 weeks because they realized, again, she had no one to work with. And they had her work with Julia, who's a heel, because she had no baby faces to work with. Like, you guys can't figure this out. You got all these people here. You can't figure this out.
No, not at all. Road
Dogg had no good answer for like who she working with. He's like, well, yeah, same people, but Chelsea's just great though. Why don't we just keep the title on her? Like, yeah, sure, but we can do another Michin feud. We've been complaining about this on SmackDown for the longest time. SP3, yeah. It's like, all right, who's the champion gonna work with? Michin. Like, no knock on Mia Yim, no knock on Michin. We think she's great. She loses every single match. I can't take her serious as a challenger for these titles. It's like, oh, cool. You're just going to beat Michin again. Great.
Like I would have loved for Michin to be in the Zelina Vega spot. It probably would have. You could have extended the Michin Chelsea Green rivalry if Michin was the one who dethroned Chelsea, and then Chelsea could win it back from Michin instead of Zelina. Which, never mind. I'm not gonna say my real thoughts, but anyway, Michin. I just think my real thoughts. I just think Michin is better than Zelina Vega. I think she would have been a much better option to be U.S. champion in the time that Zelina was. I said it.
I don't feel like that's a hot take or anything. Like, that's, I think a lot of people probably feel that way.
I will give credit. The U.S. title run seems to have gotten people more on my side of Zelina Vega not being very good in the ring.
I mean, yeah, the U.S. title run definitely didn't do her a ton of favors. And then she hasn't wrestled since that mixed tag match that went horribly wrong.
Horribly wrong.
Yeah. It didn't go well. I still need that Zelina, Maxine, and Jade Cargill triple threat just to see how many star ratings we can get out of this one. All right, let's jump into it. One more on Unreal. I'm planning on watching some of it later on today, and I'm sure SP3 will finish stuff up over the next couple of days as well. So
yeah, we'll talk about the final 3 episodes on Thursday, or
yeah.
I know Joel will want to talk about it tomorrow as well.
Maybe. I don't know what Joel wants to talk about. We'll see. All right, WWE Raw last night. Let's start with the thumbnail. AJ Styles is putting his career on the line at Royal Rumble. Gunther came out. He was confronted by AJ. AJ said, "Give me my rematch. You didn't beat me. I beat myself." Gunther said, "I got no reason to give you a rematch. Like, I did beat you. Kick rocks. Go bark up some other tree." Gunther also declared for the Royal Rumble during this. We'll talk more about the Rumble declarations.
Thank
here.
God.
Oh yeah. I've been harping on this for I've been harping on this for weeks of like, why aren't they declaring for the Royal Rumble? Finally, people are acting like the Royal Rumble is an important thing. It only gets you a title shot in a WrestleMania main event here.
I'm sorry, it just bothers me. I have to talk about this. It bothers me that there are like people online that I respect their opinion, but they are like saying, it doesn't need a build. It doesn't need a build. It's for 30 people who are battling for a shot at WrestleMania. It's like, do you not realize you are just giving WWE an excuse to be lazy and not build to one of the most important matches of the year? And like, that just contradicts every great Royal Rumble match that we've seen in our lifetime. Did not have to have a mystery field, a mystery vortex fucking Royal Rumble. What the hell is wrong with people?
I said it yesterday. I've been harping on it. If you're going to tell me that like it's a mystery field and like that's the hook for the show, okay. Like, I'm okay with that. Do I still think it's a little lazy? Yes. But at least it is something of like, all right, at least you're explaining why this is not happening. Why more people are not saying like, I declare I won in the Rumble type of thing. But you're not doing that. You've just had everybody ignore it for weeks at a time. And by doing that, you make it feel less important. Like, yeah, we know it's the Rumble. We know a title shot is on the line. You still got to talk it up. I'll use the analogy I used yesterday. Imagine the competitors in the championship games this weekend, and they just don't talk about going to the Super Bowl. They're just like, yep, it's a game this weekend. That's it. Nothing else. It's another game for us to play. Yeah. It's like, no, this is a game to go to the Super Bowl. This is a pretty important game right now. You may never get here again. You got to talk it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm glad they finally did put something on. I still think like you waited too long. Like, we're a week out from this show, a week from Saturday, or a week out from the show. Like, you got to do something with this show and then make it feel important. And they're just not doing that. But glad they at least did it last night. So Gunther declares. AJ comes out. He wants the match against the Gunther at the Rumble. Gunther's like, nah, not doing that. I already beat you. And then Gunther says, all right, you got to put something on the line. Then he says, you got to put your career on the line. And I want your answer by the end of the night. We got some backstage segments. AJ says he's going to talk to his wife. He does talk to his wife. He talks to Pierce. He talks to his wife. He talks to Pierce. And he says, oh, my wife told me exactly what I thought she was going to say. Go kick his ass. So AJ Styles will put his career on the line at Royal Rumble against Gunther. Do you think this is the end of AJ Styles, SP3?
First, I want to say I thought the promo exchange was really entertaining, and the Belfast crowd added a lot to it. Them booing Gunther, calling him a wanker, some good stuff, some good interaction with the crowd, and made you it firmly established. If I always like to kind of view wrestling in my lens of watching it every single week, but also of a casual fan watching it, and immediately the first segment of the show, you know who the heel is, you know who the baby face is, you know who the good guy is, you know who the bad guy is, and you kind of got through kind of like why these people have an issue with one another based off the match from last week. So I like this segment. I thought AJ Styles came off strong and determined, and I honestly I would have had him just say he accepted the challenge, like he's just gun ho on doing it, and maybe you could still get the backstage segments with Adam Pearce trying to like convince him not to do it, and then you see him actually call his wife, and his wife say kick his ass, and that's the reason why he confirms like this match is happening, something like that, because he seems so gun ho, like name it. And I like Gunther. I like the way that Gunther comes off, and that his new thing is that if he's gonna get into a matchup, it has to be some type of stakes to it. He has to get something out of it, and to get another head on his mantle and another career that he killed in AJ Styles was enough, and I like that a lot. So do I think AJ's Styles career is going to end at the Royal Rumble? No. Only because this company just seems determined on always ruining all the momentum that Gunther has. Like, it just seems like he should not be losing a month after he retired John Cena. But that is what this company would do. They are playing with the fact that it has been reported that AJ Styles' contract is going to end in February. So I think that using that kind of reported information that's out there and using it to their advantage, and using it a part of the storyline where now people are convinced that Gunther can beat AJ Styles, and that's going to be the end of his run in WWE, is a fun way to kind of use something that is mostly common knowledge to internet wrestling fans. I don't think the whole entire WWE fan base knows it, but they do know that Gunther has retired Goldberg, he's retired John Cena, and they know that 2026 is AJ Styles' final year. So those three facts, it makes it enough where you don't know who's going to win. And I always love a matchup where it feels like there's an unpredictable winner and it can go either way. So can I see Gunther winning and that's the end of AJ Styles in WWE? For sure. But I just believe that WWE never wants to keep the momentum on Gunther or keep him hot as he can be. So he's probably going to lose. And it'll probably be AJ doing a phantom tap out on his leg, making him get out of the sleeper. And then he beats him with like a Styles Clash or a phenomenal forearm. He gets the win. And then we can now at this point, if you're doing these two matches, you did the match in Germany last week, you're doing a match at the Royal Rumble, you can now build this to make it feel worthy of having a third matchup at WrestleMania. So I wouldn't mind that being like the culmination, maybe career versus career, where AJ wants to put an end to the career killer. He's going to kill the career of the career killer, and you do career versus career at WrestleMania. That feels like a WrestleMania matchup. And this is coming from somebody that a couple of weeks ago on this very show said AJ Styles wasn't good enough to face Gunther, or wasn't positioned high enough to face Gunther at WrestleMania. They have got me with this storyline so far, and the fact that AJ's career is on the line at WrestleMania, that I can see them building to that bigger matchup at WrestleMania now.
Ryan says Kazarian costing AJ the match. Right. LOL. I mean, if he costs him the match, then that's the end of AJ's career. So I don't know what good that does Kazarian. Here's the more likely scenario. SP3. I like your idea, by the way. AJ kind of gets by on there, skin of his teeth type of thing, and then it builds into a career versus career. I think you can really make something out of that. But that's too much thinking for this. You gotta put yourself in the WWE's writers' room here. SA3. Here's what they're gonna pitch. Here's what old Bruce is gonna pitch. Well, what if AJ wins, and then Gunther wins the Rumble? And then who cares that AJ Styles beat him? That's what I think is going to happen. I think AJ is going to win this match because I don't think his career is going to end at the Royal Rumble. but then Gunther will come back and win the Rumble because they love lose early, win later. They love that trope.
They do that.
Yeah. So I could 100% see them doing that, where AJ beats him, Gunther wins the Rumble, and it's like, doesn't really matter that he lost to AJ. He won the Rumble. He's going to WrestleMania. And then they can do another Gunther and AJ match. Maybe you do that at Elimination Chamber, an episode of Raw or something, to give Gunther kind of the win back there without AJ's career on the line. But I think that's what's going to happen here. That's my prediction.
And then who would Gunther face at WrestleMania if he wins the Rumble?
CM Punk for his career. I do think they could. There's a world where it's Punk and Gunther though. They did it at SummerSlam. Yeah. Gunther lost at SummerSlam. I could see him winning. Like, it feels like, to further capitalize on the John Cena retirement, he does, like you've said, like, you got to have a big match for him at WrestleMania, and winning the world title is obviously a big deal. Beating CM Punk, who will have been the champion for a few months, like, that is a big deal. So I think it could be him and Punk at Mania, because I don't know if they have the Mania stuff fully figured out right now. Not with the reports that are going on with, they're not going to do Cody and Roman. Maybe they're going to do Cody and Drew, or Cody and Drew and Jacob. Okay, where does that leave Punk? Are they going to go with Braun Breaker, which they should, but at the same time, they love delaying things. And, you can do, Zeno are saying Punk or Braun Breaker and AJ Styles. All right, like, they can figure something else out for Braun to effectively.
So we're going to have 2 multi-man matches for both titles? Thank God Zeno.
Zeno. Oh, I thought he was saying, I thought he was saying Punk versus Gunther and Braun versus AJ.
No, he said a 4-way.
I didn't see the verses in between. Yeah. No, fuck that 4-way. No, we ain't doing that.
we can't do 2 multi-man matches
for
both top titles on both nights of the main. No, we're not doing that.
No, I don't want to do a 4-way. I'm fine. Like, you want to do Braun and AJ as a singles match? Like, all right, that's a good match for Braun, because they love delaying things. I'm using WWE tropes here. All right, folks. Mm-hmm. Guy loses his first match and wins the title or the Money in the Bank later in the night, because they love that, and they love delaying things. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm delaying Braun Breaker, and I'm doing lose and win in one night.
Well, to be fair, we got Vala calling Zeno our bum ass booker. He does enjoy NXT, so you got to excuse him. He's basing all his booking tropes over Triple H and Shawn Michaels, apparently. But anyway, I do want to get this on record. I'm the person that said, don't nobody want to see a third matchup between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania this year. But it's safe for me to say, don't nobody want to see Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, nor Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in the main event of WrestleMania either.
No. I have no desire to see Cody and Drew again. None. It's very funny that the report was, it'd be audience fatigue for Cody and Roman to do it the third time in 4 years. Like, yeah, but that's better than Cody and Drew for the 4th time in 5 months, which is about what they'd be doing. So, like, 3 times in 4 years, especially, same show, main event and everything, like, it's a little much, but it's WrestleMania. They are 2 of the biggest stars in the company. Like, I get that. I've seen Cody and Drew not only like 4 times in the last few months. We had 3 matches effectively with them, with the 3 stages of hell. Like, that's 3 matches in 1 right there. I'm good on seeing Cody and Drew ever again. You got to give me a 2-year buffer between these guys. 2 whole years. Yes. That's how long I need before I need another Cody and Drew match. I don't need that match again. And Jacob Fatu isn't there enough. He could have been, but then he had that SummerSlam match against Solo, and they completely killed all of his momentum. Jacob Fatu isn't there enough to where I'm like, yeah, put him in the main event. Look, it's possible.
I was there like a year ago. Like a year
Yeah.
ago, I would have been
Yeah.
like, yeah, for sure. That should happen next year at WrestleMania. Jacob Fatu in the main event. But nah, not right now. He would legitimately have to like go on an absolute tear, win the Royal Rumble, and like keep him like you got to elevate him a lot within the next a month or two to get him in a position where he feels worthy of being in the main event of WrestleMania. But we're gonna see. Like I said this on Twitter. I'll say it here. They have kind of handicapped themselves because they did make the road to WrestleMania a lot more unpredictable with Drew McIntyre winning the undisputed WWE Championship. But everything they did prior to that has basically made it necessary that Roman Reigns has to be in that WWE title match at WrestleMania in some way, some form, some fashion. He's the only one that will make that a WrestleMania main event worthy.
I think it's gonna be. I don't know what it's gonna be, but here's predictions on record here. Gunther and Punk. Gunther wins the Rumble. Roman and Drew. Roman wins Elimination Chamber. Drew's still the champion. Cody. I still think Cody should get beat by Obafemi in 30 seconds. That's my big pitch for Cody Rhodes and bringing in Obafemi and really establishing him on the main roster. Am I frozen or is SP3 frozen? I assume it's me. I always assume it's me. But it is taking a while for my wheel to spin. So maybe it's actually SP3 this time. Someone in the chat, let me know if y'all can still hear me or if this show has gone completely upended and I'm saying nothing to nobody right now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, SP3 was frozen. Okay.
Yeah, I was frozen. I literally asked. I was like, "Am I frozen here?" And because you were frozen on your end, and I was like, once I saw the Ziggly line going around and around and around, I was like, "Yep, I'm frozen." So
yeah, usually it comes up for me. I was like, "Oh, it's not actually appearing for me." So maybe it is SP3 this time. All right, I don't know if you heard me, but Obafemi should beat. I feel like SP3 might be frozen again. Oh, no, you're back. Okay.
No.
All right. Obafemi should beat Cody in 30 seconds. I think Drew and Roman is the WrestleMania match. I'm not getting over Roman not being in this title picture. I like not doing this title match. As I keep saying, y'all got last year. He still main evented, but y'all got last year of me not going after the world title. That's it. That's all you're getting. I gave you a year to figure this out. You couldn't do it. I'm back. If I got to make the call to Dwayne, I'll make the call to Dwayne. Y'all better figure this shit out, though.
Yeah, he's gonna get his way. Like he's got to get into this title picture. That's what he wanted. That was the original report that he wants to be back into the title picture. He's not gonna go to Hollywood full time yet. He's said before in interviews he's got like 1 to 2 to 3 years left in the game. You're gonna get him in the main event of WrestleMania anyway. It might as well be for the WWE Championship.
The ultimate power move, because I know there's been a lot of talk of they're not doing Cody and Roman because of booking fatigue, audience fatigue out there, and then people are like, oh yeah, they couldn't figure out who was supposed to win that match. they couldn't decide who the winner was supposed to be, and neither guy was budging on that one. The ultimate power move for Roman would be, hey, Cody, go ahead. You do the title match. Oh, yeah, book Cody and Drew again. The audience will love that, Paul. They'll absolutely love another Cody and Drew match. That sounds great. I hear you're not getting nominated for an Oscar.
He's like, hey, pal. How you doing, cuz?
You know,
Oos.
next year's in Saudi. This year back in Vegas, though. You know, next year doesn't make a whole lot of sense. This year makes a whole lot of sense.
No, he's actually like, you know, next year in Saudi is probably going to be me and you. How about you come back to be the special guest referee for me versus Drew? Your guy you gave the sword to versus your cousin. You're stuck in the middle. You don't know which side you're gonna be on. The final boss is gonna determine who is the leader of the future of WWE. Doesn't that sound great? We could. Do you really want me to throw Cody in there? We could throw Cody in there, make it a triple threat with you as the referee. Yeah, that's fine too.
Nah, he ain't throwing Cody in there. Yeah, I think Roman pulls the let him do Cody and Drew. The audience will love that. Another championship match between Cody and Drew. That's great. That's good stuff. You know what's headlining though? Rock and Roman. You're gonna put us co-main event? You're gonna put Cody and Drew? You're gonna put Gunther and Punk? Is it no. Do whatever title matches you want. You're right. I don't need the title. I don't need to be in it right now. I'll give you another year, 6 months. We're doing this match this year. We're finally giving the people what they want this year. We're gonna me versus Rock out here. Rock's
This is
didn't get the Oscar nomination, but people love me again. Smashing Machine was a critical hit. Got the Golden Globe nomination. Now let me come back. Let me come back home. Let me get the goosebumps going again and everything. That's what we'll do. Roman just talks him into it. That look after Elimination Chamber, because you don't need that long to build Rock and Roman. You got years and years of history. After Elimination Chamber, when Cody wins the Chamber and he's all excited, he's going to WrestleMania to face Drew McIntyre, and then the hits, and old Rome comes out and he's staring face to face with Cody, and then the if you smell hits. Oh, it's hitting like crack out there.
And Drew's gonna be out there. Came out to like stare down with Cody, but Roman comes out and he stares down with Cody and Drew, and then The Rock comes on the stage and he says,
No. Okay. He does the 3 and then the cut, but then he throws up the 1, and then to show like that's who he's facing. He's facing the 1. He's like, there's 3 of y'all. Axe that. I'm facing the 1. It actually means something here. Look I did your dumb little hand gestures. Like, it means something. We're playing the long game. There, I gave you some meaning behind
it.
This.
Paid off 2 years later. That hand gesture will pay off at WrestleMania 42.
I need a Roman to throw this around and just be like, yeah, this is what we're doing. I need Rock to come in and fuck things up again as well. Love when The Rock screws things up. I was thinking about when all of the these reports coming out with Roman and Roman and Cody, and like, oh, we're not gonna do it. Like, is it audience fatigue? Is it political power play type thing? Did Roman want Cody to turn heel so they could build up a Roman babyface Cody? I was thinking about that Roman promo. I guess it was last year at this point, where he's naming names and he says Cody and the crowd boos and Roman goes, interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, all right, Roman.
And he says, Seth Rollins, that's right, no pop.
Yeah. Roman went to the back and was like, you hear that crowd booing Cody? Yeah. Just keep it in mind.
Just saying. Roman was watching on Friday when London. Oh, I had people cracking up in London because I was probably the loudest person booing Cody, and I had this kid that I was sitting with the McCarthy family, and I had this kid that was like this young kid, had to be like 11, 12 years old. He's watching the show with his mom next to him, and I just started booing Cody. I'm like, boo him! He's American. He's the American nightmare. Boo him! The kid just looked at me so confused because he's like, I know that's an American accent. Why are you booing the American? I was like, no, I'm one of y'all. I'm one of y'all. I had the McCarthy family rolling with that. I was just booing Cody the whole time. Great stuff. Yeah, but he is great at turning crowds around. He knows how to pander to them. He was like, you guys deserve a WrestleMania in London. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Cody, they ain't listening to you. John Cena already came out here and did this 2 years ago with WrestleMania in London. And then
the company not listen to it, but these fans are so sheepish that they just like, he said WrestleMania in London, yeah, Cody Rhodes, go Cody Rhodes.
Needed Drew to come out during that, but you know why you ain't getting a WrestleMania in London? Because they ain't paying enough money. That's why they got the mini-me championship, because that's how little money they paid for this title. You see the belts we're giving the Saudis? We're creating custom titles for them. They're paying us so much money. We ain't giving y'all shit out here. CM Punk, Finn Balor in the main event. You called it the best WWE match of the year. I don't have an argument for it. I mean, I think Maxine and Becky 5 is pretty close to beat it, but but otherwise, you know what this match really told me above everything else, besides the fact that like Balor can still go when they actually like give him opportunities to go. CM Punk's got to be a heel again. He works as a heel so good. And, you know, he was healing it up for this crowd because they were in Ireland, Northern Ireland. And so they were cheering Balor. So Punk's like, all right, I got to flip a little and heal it up some. I was like, oh, yeah. He works so much better as a heel. And when he eventually does turn back to being a heel, it's probably going to be some good stuff. Because then he won't hopefully have to cut the "Isn't it great to be alive" and "Insert your town here" promos every single week. Your overall thoughts on this match, though?
For all I say about CM Punk, and I wasn't one of the people that'd be like, oh, he's washed and all of that, but I was just like, I don't really like him on the mic, and doesn't it feel great to be alive on a Monday night in Belfast, Ireland? Nonsense. That shit, miss me with that. But when the bell rings, CM Punk might be a top 5 guy in this company. He is so good. Like I gave credit and praise. You know, I did emphasize that the first couple of minutes of the Braun Breaker matchup had some major league botches.
Can I go in it?
You want to show your dress upgrade? You got a new dress on?
Nice.
No,
Don't touch the radiator. It's hot. Why are you touching it? Don't do that.
Hello, dummy.
Hi, Harlem. She just wants to come in and say hi to me. I respect it. I appreciate it.
She's a fan. She's a fan of Jeremy.
I'm over in Harlem's world, which is all that matters.
Exactly. But I the one thing that I said about the Finn Balor CM Punk matchup, I was like, this matchup is exactly what some people thought the Braun Breaker matchup was. It was an actual great main event that had no big botches or no type of like problems to it, but it used the atmosphere, it used everything that happened in the matchup and the environment that they were in to a T, to perfection. This was a great, excellent matchup between two pros, two veterans of the game. Finn Balor was a great babyface here. I love the reaction that he got for Catch Your Breath. As soon as they did the darkness, I was like, oh no, are they gonna do it? Are they gonna do it? Are they gonna play the original theme? And then you hear the I was like, yes, let's go. And the pop was insane. And you knew from that moment forward that Finn Balor was gonna have the fans on his side, and CM Punk had to play the heel a bit, heal it up a bit, which he's very comfortable in. So I agree with you. Like, he probably will be at his best. This was more of like AEW Collision CM Punk, who was getting kind of like different reactions and had to work with different people and had to work different styles from time to time based on the reaction that he was going to get from the fans. But this here, he played a perfect heel. He slowed it down when he needed to. He grounded Balor. He set up Balor's comeback so well. Balor selling throughout the heat section of this matchup was great. His comeback was tremendous. The crowd was on fire once he kicks out of the first go to sleep. When he starts hitting those shotgun drop kicks, they're like, getting amped up, and everyone is getting like louder and louder reactions every time he hits one of them. And then when he finally hit the coup de grace, everybody was just like, yes, this is it. 1, 2. And just you could hear the air go out of the room when Punk kicks out at 2.55. So just great stuff from two absolute pros. I think before this, I would probably put Drew and Cody's 3 Stages of Hell matchup as like the benchmark for best WWE match of the year. But this was just as great, if not greater. And I thought that the crowd was even better for this match than with the Drew and Cody matchup. So that's why I give it the edge as the best WWE match of 2026 so far.
That's fair on the crowd and the reaction and everything. The finish was also better because the finish to an escape the cage and the guy just falling out because Jacob Fatu. I hate interference in a cage match. The dumbest thing in the world, and doing a protected finish like that sucks. Well, this was just a straightforward finish. CM Punk was the better man on this night. Like the crowd was great. I love the near falls. And Balor was there to work. Punk flipping to play more of a heel was a smart call by him. That was a great match. And Punk won, showed respect to Balor afterwards. We'll see what they're doing with Finn Balor at this point. It would not shock me at all if they're just like, anyway, back to playing video games backstage with the Judgment Day, and we have no actual further plans for you because we're not in Ireland next week, so we don't have anything to do with you at this point. It wouldn't shock me. Do I think they could turn him into like an actual babyface and finally do a Balor and Dom feud, get him away from the Judgment Day stuff? Yes. Will they? Probably not.
I'm not going to hold my breath, but that should be the direction that they go in for WrestleMania. It should be Balor versus Dom for the Intercontinental Championship. Balor finally just having enough, going full on babyface, getting away from the Judgment Day. Dom can be the heel in that matchup, and Balor can win the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. And it's a 1-year kind of payoff to the story that they started at last year's WrestleMania, where Dom pinned Balor to first become the Intercontinental Champion for the first time. So then you could pay that all off back in Vegas, back in the same building, Allegiant Stadium, and Balor is the one who beats Dom and ends his second run as Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, I know people have mentioned the theme. Hopefully that continues. They do love just bringing back old themes because like, oh yeah, this theme was actually cool and got over, and then we switched it to this trash and no one liked it and could recognize it. So praise us for bringing back the old theme that we never really needed to take away in the first place. Yeah, bar is low. It's like when Madden adds like, oh, look at this new feature that we've added. It's like, yeah, we had this like 10 years ago, and then you just randomly took it away for no reason, and now you're just adding it back and acting like it's something new. It's not. You took it away because you didn't think we'd notice. Although a theme, you do notice that it gets taken away. It's like, we could have just had this the whole time instead of you acting like this is a new feature type of thing. So great main event there. The opening match was Becky Maxine 6, your favorite series of all time, SP3. And we had the, I would say, rather predictable finish of once you saw Natalya backstage, it's like, oh yeah, we know where this is going. And sure enough, during the match, Natalya put Becky's foot on the rope. Maxine saw it. She was not happy, and Becky ended up getting the victory. And then Natalya beat the hell out of Maxine after the match. I know people are excited. I know some people are excited. I shouldn't say a lot of people. I know some people are excited for this Natalya heel turn. It's nice that she's on TV and doing something. Do I have any faith that this is like going past like one Natalya Maxine match? If that, I don't even know if they're going to do that, honestly, because they love to not do matches that they tease. Do I have any faith that it's going past this? No. They'll do one match, maybe. Natalya will probably win, maybe. And then they'll both be off television for like 6 months.
Yeah. This would have been great if they had like set this up a while ago, like after the vignettes with Natalia training Maxine. If they had Natalia in Maxine's corner when she faced Ivy Now for the Intercontinental Championship, when she defended the title against Becky Lynch in Barclays Center, that would have made sense, and it wouldn't have looked as obvious as hell that Natalia was going to turn on her when she randomly turns up on Monday and she's like, I'm going to be in your corner. And it's just like, everybody and their mama, if you've been watching wrestling for longer than a week, you knew what was about to happen. You knew that Natalia was going to cost Maxine the matchup. I mean, I do like the fact that it is keeping Maxine into some type of storyline so she can continue her momentum coming out of the title picture, where she has no business to be in the title picture at all, and she still has a story that she can follow up on, I guess. But I have no faith in them to do anything with the Natalia heel turn. Like, Natalia heel turns just doesn't like register very high for me. If she came dressed out in her all black attire and we got like clear indications we were going to get the low-key legend coming out of this and she can be Natty Neidhart, but even then I think that the whole appeal of the low-key legend Natty Neidhart is the fact that it's not under the WWE restrictions. I think that if you get that same character that we seen in GCW, in Bloodsport, that we seen in NWA, then it's not going to hit the same under WWE restrictions. WWE will restrict that character ridiculously, and we all know it. So if you don't know it, I'm here to tell you, it's not going to be the same as it's hitting that Bloodsport like it's going to hit on TKO Money Time. Like, that's not how it works. She's not going to get as much TV time to establish it. And even this story is very like disjointed, because like I said, they could have done stuff to set this up better, but no, what happened was Maxine beat Becky by count out in disqualification, and then she was going to get another title shot, and she said, no, I have to go train with a friend. They didn't let us know who the friend was. They didn't even make vignettes at that time. Then she got the matchup with Becky Lynch on November 17th. She beat her for the Intercontinental Championship because of AJ Lee, not because of Natalia. Then she said, oh, now that I'm champion, I have to go train now. And we got 2 weeks of vignettes of her training with Natty. Then Natty was nowhere to be found when she came back to television. She beat Ivy Nile, then had those promos with Becky Lynch where they totally changed her character, where she went from the rookie who was doing well and punching above her scale to now confident, cocky champion who was talking down to the greatest wrestler of all time. It's like, it was so weird, those promos leading up to the matchup on January 5th. And then she had that stinker on January 5th where she lost the title and she watched the referee count her out 1, 2, 3. And then she has this matchup here with Natalia turning on her. That's not a clear story at all.
Well, it's because they're just going to do Natalia beats Maxine in a couple of weeks, and then Maxine's never seen again. So they didn't care to tell a clear story with this Maxine. This felt like Becky, maybe this will come out in Unreal Season 4. This felt like Becky was like, all right, who can I try to elevate with this Women's Intercontinental title? How about Maxine? Why don't I do something with her? And then it didn't hit very well because Maxine, yes, she's improved, but she's still not great in the ring. And I don't think they actually had a real motivation behind elevating her up the card besides, well, Becky's asking for this, so okay, let's just do what Becky wants to do here. And then they will slot her where they're going to slot her moving forward.
There's very much seems like that is the case with all of this, but it happened, and I will say the matchup last night wasn't as bad as January 5th.
Yeah, I mean, low bar, but yeah, that's fair.
It's basically like we say in TNA Genesis was better than the TNA on AMC premiere. Like, it's not say, like, I've seen, oh my god, some of these people like overcompensate for TNA way too much, where I've seen people online like, oh man, TNA Genesis was a great and fun show. I want to hear people say that as much as they were saying the AMC premiere sucked. It wasn't a fun, great show. It was just a fine show that was a 6 out of 10 at best, and that's better than a 1 out of 10 that the AMC premiere was. Like when the bar is at the center of the earth, we don't need to overcompensate and compliment the show for being just a fine show.
Well, TNA Genesis did have one of the greatest matches of all time, so I can't, knock that show too much.
What, Marshade versus Ryan?
Of course.
I know to you. that yo, like, and I said this. Shout outs to Andy Murray. I've been talking to him a lot online. We have a lot of the same viewing habits on matches because he's been watching a lot of CMLL lately. Shout outs to Andy from Woke Culture. And I said it to him because he was like, "Oh, holy shit!" When he saw the cage match rating for that matchup, I was like, "This was dreadful." And he was like, I said, this is coming from someone that hated Maxine versus Becky, yet that was better than Ryan Nemeth versus Marshade. I thought the bar was set for worst match of the year on January 5th. Then I saw that match. And I was like, oh my God, it gets worse. It gets worse.
No. I compared it to Sharmell and Jenna yesterday, but I was like, it might actually be better than Sharmell and Jenna because like they're not really trained. And these two are actually trained, and like they went out and had this match. I was like, man, that's tough. But yeah, this match rules. If you are into wrestling the way I am into wrestling, and that let's find the most horrible shit ever and laugh at it. This match rules. Love this match.
We gotta take note. I need you to like make a doc of all the worst matches of the year, so at the end of the year we can watch it. We could just do a marathon of all the worst matches.
I mean, we've got 2 right there now, so
yeah.
I'll try to keep some sort of track of these things. Cage match will keep track of it for me. I don't need to concern myself with actually doing that kind of work. Cage match will do the work for me.
Hey, we also got to put Inspiration versus the Elegance brand.
Oh, yeah, the Elegance,
career as well. Yeah, that's up there. We got a top 3. We got a top 3 for worst match of the year so far. We're only in January. That's what I said. 2026 is going to be an all-time in-ring year for better or worse.
Javon Evans unfortunately got hurt on Raw. He was facing El Grande Americano. They came back from break and they stopped the match. It seems like he's fine. By all accounts, he's fine. It looked like he was favoring his shoulder, but they said they stopped it for reportedly due to a concussion, but it seems like he's fine. Hopefully that's the case. I assume, we'll see next week if Javon's wrestling again or not. But yeah, hopefully Javon's good and he's not out too long. Hopefully maybe they just take it easy with him next week and he appears but doesn't wrestle or anything, and then he's back in the ring sooner rather than later. Hopefully he's in like the Rumble and everything.
Yeah, I was I hate seeing anybody get hurt in any type of way, and at first it looked like either he was holding his wrist and then he had his like shoulder slumped down. I was like, not another shoulder injury. I was like, these are like the freaking plague at this point. So here, it was mainly just a percussion protocol. That I like the fact that WWE is caring about the health of their performers a lot more. Like we've gotten multiple referee stoppage due to like injuries of some kind over the last couple of months, whether it's Liv Morgan last summer or Penta in November. And then we had this instant here. So I like how much precaution they're going into the health and safety of their performers. So I'm hoping Javon is going to be all right. I'm hoping Javon can be in the Royal Rumble because he's such a talented guy, just got to the main roster, and this would be like the worst time ever to get injured is in early January, the early part of the year going into WrestleMania, and I don't want to see that for Javon, who's a guy who has a bright future ahead of him and can be, has the potential to be one of the top stars in WWE in the next couple of years, not 15 like Mark Henry, but in the next couple of years.
Ray, Penta, and Dragon Lee defeated the Vision. Austin Theory already taking pens. Love to see it with the Vision. It's a really good match. It was a really fun match.
Really good.
Rey Mysterio is Rey Mysterio out here, and then after the match, I guess it was earlier on. There was a few segments with Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce. I don't remember the full order, but the segment where Heyman's walking backstage and the mic falls and you have the loud "hey" from Heyman, I was like, what happened there? And then you saw like the mic falls, like, oh, so what? Someone just lose their grip on things there. But it was so loud. I was like, oh shit, Is this what people hear when I start yelling into the mic? I'm like, I apologize.
He's like, hey, I was like, whoa, okay.
My bad. Austin Theory already took it things though.
I can't front because I am someone that always craps on Adam Pearce because they don't write him very well as an authority figure. He's been really good the last couple of weeks. He's very believable in his role, his acting ability and his ability to come off like the frustrated authority figure, the frustrated boss at work. He's done a very good job. And I thought he was very good, even like getting involved and taking away the brass knuckles. But then he left it on the apron, which basically cost the Vision the matchup. So that plays into Adam Pearce working against the Vision and plays to Paul Heyman's probably case to WWE. Like, this guy needs to get fired, or this guy needs to reverse his decision and bring back Braun Breaker. So I like the interactions that we've seen from Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce as of late, and I like all the backstage segments that they did with him and AJ and him and the Vision throughout the night. He's done very well, and like I said, the match was a whole bunch of fun. Like Ray working with Dragon Lee and Penta. This was a blast. Rey Mysterio for 51 years old. He looks better than a lot of people out there. He's not as good or as fast as he was, say, when he was like 21, 22, but he's still one of the best and smartest in-ring workers in WWE today. Penta is a great and amazing. I've always wanted more for Penta over the last year in WWE. He's gotten multiple opportunities at title belts that I think he probably should have won by now. And Dragon Lee is probably one of the most underrated guys on the WWE roster. I'm glad, they did the ad break promo where they all announced themselves in the Royal Rumble as well. So more people in the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble finally felt important. That's why I had to put the tweet out yesterday. I was like, thank God WWE listened to me and not some of these nincompoops that was like, I don't need a build. I want to be surprised. That'll make me sick. Y'all make me sick.
I mean, fair. Again, I've talked about it enough with the Rumble stuff. I do like Paul Heyman threatening Pierce of like, I think your job is in jeopardy, not Braun Breaker's job. And Braun's gonna be back next week, so Braun Breaker and Adam Pearce is the WrestleMania match is what we're getting at here. That's my guess.
I hope not. Please, dear God, no. Please, no. Then we also got multiple people announcing for the women's Royal Rumble matchup as well.
Yeah, Rio, Iya.
Iya.
I'm just like
Rio and Iya.
Everything. Yeah, Rhea and Io announced. Kyrie, Asuka, Bailey, and Lyra all announced. So I'm glad the women.
Day. Raquel.
Yeah, and the Judgment Day. Yeah, I'm glad the women have finally started to acknowledge the Rumble as well. It only took them, less than 2 weeks before the show, before they're like, hey, there's a title shot here? You mean we can get a title shot? Oh, hey. These tag team titles are a little bit more important, okay? I'm not worried about this world title right now.
Hey, in one night, they got more matches announced for the Royal Rumble than they do for this Saturday night's main event. There's only 3 matches announced for Saturday night's main event, yet there's 4 for the Royal Rumble.
Oh, true. I forgot about the undisputed title match because we don't know who Drew's facing yet. So, yeah. That's true. Yeah. All right. Anything else from Raw?
No, that's really it. Like I said, I thought it was a very good episode of Monday Night Raw. The first very good episode of the year so far.
All right. What was your moment of Monday, SP3?
My moment of Monday actually wasn't from Monday Night Raw, ironically enough. It was from New Japan Pro Wrestling, The Road to New Beginning. And oh my God, the double whammy, I call it, the semi-main event and main event of that show. They had the never openweight 6-man tag team championships, TMDK versus Bishamon and Boltin Oleg, probably the best Boltin Oleg of performance of his career so far. He was so great in the matchup, working with Zack Sabre Jr., working with Roye Uyawa, big man battles with Hartley Jackson. Such a great performance from him. Zack was kind of the glue of the matchup. That was great. And the main event of Shota Umino and Yuya Uemura versus Tomohiro Ishii and Tai Chi, number one contenders matchup. Fantastic stuff. Just 4 great workers having like a never open weight 4-way that was just banger upon banger, hard shot after hard shot, physically intense. The crowd was on fire in Kurgan Hall for both of these matches. Go out of your way to see those two. That's my moment from Monday, the Road to New Beginning, semi-main event and main event.
My moment of Monday was the clip from WWE Unreal where Triple H admitted that he got outmaneuvered by R-Truth. And I don't even think he knows he admitted that he got outmaneuvered by R-Truth, which makes the clip that much funnier, is he thinks like he was doing something by saying this, not realizing, oh shit, R-Truth actually completely out-negotiated and out-politicked me and the entire organization. Fuck. Just an amazing cell phone with this clip. It's what we do, though.
This is what we do. Did you enjoy the show? All part of the show.
All right, I know you want to talk some CMLL and New Japan. I have only watched the New Japan main event from yesterday, the tag team match with Shota and Yuya against Taichi and Ishii. That's the only thing I've watched.
What did you think?
Oh, that was really good. I do love that, Shota and Yuya are like good, and we know they're good, but they've kind of had like their ups and downs throughout. And Taichi's come a long way. There were many years ago where it's like, fuck, Taichi's on screen. What are we doing with this dude? Like, no, he's improved, and we've kind of tracked his improvement on this show because we've been doing this show for so long now. But he's come a long way, and like Ishii's Ishii, so I love that they're just like, yeah, you like Shota and Yuya, you know they're pretty good. We're gonna put them in there with Taichi and Tomohiro Ishii, and now we're gonna give you like a top tier, excellent match. I thought, and this is obviously just my personal taste. My range is like the 18 to 20 minute range, so 30 minutes. I was like, maybe cut off a little bit, get to the closing stuff a little bit sooner. But overall, I still thought it was a really, really good match. I mean, it was the best. It was better than, I liked Punk and Balor. I thought this was better than Punk and Balor. Yeah, that's got my top spot. Spoiler alert for best match right now of the week, because that was just a tremendous matchup. I thought that both guys, Yuya and Shota, really stepped up. Like you said, Taichi has been probably the most improved player for like the last 5 years. Like the way when I first started watching New Japan like 12, 13 years ago, Taichi was just like one of the worst guys on the roster. He was just a gimmick. He used to come out, sing, he would do the spot where he takes off his pants and hits the super kick, and that was kind of it about his matches. Now it's become like this kind of lovable trope from his old days, and now he's just like a never open weight guy. He's a guy that can go out there and you can always guarantee that he's going to go out there and have a banger with these guys. And I just like how New Japan does their tag team matches, where it really breaks down, where you're seeing like 2 or 3 different singles matches all in one. Like they have the different matchups between the two guys. That bump, that Shota, the reversal to the sheer drop brainbuster when he spiked Tomohiro Ishii on his no neck. Oh my God, he lost whatever centimeters he had left in his neck. He lost it on that DDT. That DDT was ridiculous. And I absolutely loved the post-match promo from Yuya Uemura and Shota Umino. We get the translation from Chris Charlton, but them really kind of saying like Yuya getting in Shota's face, like, how do you feel about the juniors getting a bigger reaction than you? Like he was like,
like, I'm frustrated. Aren't you frustrated? And Shota actually not doing the John Cena or Roman Reigns route of I'm getting booed and it doesn't really affect me. I'm too good for I'm too cool for school for that. He actually showed emotion and he was like, yeah, it does bother me. He was like, I've been trying my hardest. I work my ass off. So it does piss me off that the juniors to me are the ones that are getting bigger reaction. Roye Uyawa got all that big reaction in Ottawa at New Year's Dash, and I got booed out the building when I came out to challenge the Knockout Brothers. That stuff does affect me. So I like that we're going on this journey with Shota Umino, and I do agree. The gear change from the bell-bottom pants to the shorts has been a big upgrade for Shota Umino. Look-wise, he looks more like a guy that I could see getting up to the main event again right now. But I think the Yuya and Shota tag team is being used in the right way. They're being used as two guys that have kind of struggled to cement themselves in the top of the card in New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're kind of a couple of tiers behind Yota Tsuji in that regard, but they can build up each other together. And I really feel they're going to be the ones that dethrone the Knockout Brothers when they get their title shot in a few weeks coming out of this win. But an excellent matchup. All four guys went out there, just went balls to the wall, beat the crap out of each other. It was hard hitting. It was fully intense. This was a tremendous matchup, and like I said, one of the best matches of the week. But the never openweight 6-man tag team matchup, if you thought that was the best match on that show, I don't blame you, because those guys went out there like Zack Sabre Jr. and Hiroki Goto is like guaranteed magic in the ring. Anytime they've been in the ring in the last year, it's been some of the best matches in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about the New Beginning matchup, if you're talking about the Tanahashi Jam match where Zack won the title back, if you're talking about the World Tag League when it was TMDK versus Bishamon, and then even in this instance, it was just they have unreal chemistry together. You got the hard-hitting, strong style representative of Hiroki Goto versus the technical brilliance submission specialist that is Zack Sabre Jr. And anytime they're in the ring together, you get all the callbacks to their previous matches. Anytime Zack has Hiroki Goto in one of those arm submissions, I think about the Tanahashi Jam match, and he almost injured him again in this matchup as well. But like I said before, Kazakhstan is proud after Monday, because Boltin Oleg, I've been shooting in the gym. I do reviews on True Hill Heat YouTube channel with Sanal and J News, who have been sleeping on Boltin Oleg. They don't like Boltin Oleg. They don't think Boltin Oleg has earned the spot that he's at. But man, he had his best performance yet in that matchup. And yeah, he's facing some great guys, but I thought he had great chemistry with Hartley Jackson. I thought he had great chemistry with Zack Sabre Jr. He had great chemistry with Roye Uyawa. Roye Uyawa has taken so much like steps up in New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. So all 6 guys went out there. They put out a great matchup, and back to back, I was just like, I came out of that show like, man, New Japan might have a great 2026. And then I watched today's show. I was enjoying today's show too. I was like, oh, they're doing this theme where House of Torture have not won a matchup in 2026. They lost all their matches at Wrestle Kingdom. They've lost their match at New Year's Dash. They lost their match at Blue Justice show. They lost their matches at the Road to New Beginning. And then we get to this show. They lost the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship matchup. It wasn't as bad, but it was just fine. It was, the Ichiban Sweet Boys are great together, and they are the right team to hold those titles right now. And then they had to ruin it. They had Doki retain against El Desperado, and the match was full of freaking Show hugging the referee to distract him while Doki low-blowed him and then hit him with weapons and all this nonsense. And I'm just like, this junior heavyweight division is in the doldrums. Like, Gato treats his junior heavyweight division like Tony Khan treats the women's division. Like Triple H treats every other women's title except for the tag team titles. Like, they don't care about these divisions. They don't care about these titles. And Gato don't care about no junior heavyweight division. He just says Doki's going to retain. House of Torture stands tall at the end of the night.
As it should be. I was surprised that El Desperado didn't win, because they love El Desperado. I'm like, yeah, sure. They're just going to put the title back on El Desperado. Fine. whatever you can do. I did pop that. I do have to watch the Never 6-man tag match. I did love that, like, they just switched the titles. That of all the titles that they switch like every 2 weeks in this company, it's always the Never 6-man. Like, the history of that title is so funny. It's like held the title for 50 days, 0 title defenses. Held the title for 80 days, 1 title defense. Like, they never get defended, and when they do, it's always a title change.
Multiple title reigns that have just ended on V0 every single time.
It's so funny with that title. Like, you can always count on that title change when it comes to the never. If there's a never 6-man title match on the show, it's like, yeah, those are changing hands tonight. We're getting 1 title change on this show. I don't know what else is happening, but we getting this title change out here. I do have to watch today's show and the never 6-man as well, so I will get on that at some point in my life.
I have like the angles that they did today. They set up officially. It's going to be Yota Tsuji versus Jake Lee. Yeah, because on Monday they did the angle where basically Yota Tsuji stepped up to Jake Lee, and he wanted to hear from Jake Lee, because the whole thing that they've done at New Year's Dash, at the Blue Justice show, and then Road to New Beginning Night 1 was Jake Lee hasn't said anything. He hasn't even said any comments in the post matches comments as well. So Yota Tsuji was like, I want to hear from you. Why do you think you deserve a shot at the IWGP Heavyweight Championship? And then this dude Jake Lee just yoked him up, put him in the guillotine, and choked him out with the mic still by Tsuji's. So you hear Tsuji like, oh, and you hear the life going out of him as he chokes him out. And then the rest of United Empire jumped Unbound Company. And then today they basically Jake Lee pinned Shingo Takagi in an 8-man tag, former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And then after the matchup, they had the rest of United Empire hold up Yota Tsuji, while Jake Lee just need the ribs of every single member of Unbound Company. He just they throwing them in, he would hit them with the knee to the gut, kitchen sink. He just laid out everybody from Unbound Company while Tsuji had to watch. And he basically told him, he was like, he finally talked, he got on the mic and he was like, you see, I just beat up all your boys. I just beat your whole Unbound Company up right in front of you. So are you going to give me a title shot now? And Tsuji finally accepted the challenge. I think they did a great job with the angles to kind of set it up, where they were also giving Jake Lee wins at the same time in these multi-man matches, so he feels more worthy to get the title shot, even though I have no faith that this match is going to be that good. But I think they did a good job of building up Jake Lee to get the title shot at New Beginning in Osaka.
Jake Lee's always built up very well because he has a good look and he is unique in his mannerisms and everything. The sleepy Jake Lee stuff, it's like, all right, you can kind of see where they're going with this. And then the bell rings, and then it's like, oh yeah,
he's an aura farmer at his best, because the theme music and everything is so cool, and then the bell rings, and it's like, no, it's gone. It's all gone. It's all gone from here. But I've seen Jake Lee have good to great matches, so we'll see how good Yota Tsuji really is if he could get a very good matchup out of Jake Lee. They did a good job with that. I also think they've been doing a good job with the Lions Cup, the Young Lions Cup. It's come down to Morishima, my guy Morishima. I said that's my guy I'm hitching my wagon to from this group of Young Lions, and he's facing Shomo Kato in the finals, I believe, the next Road to New Beginning show, which I think it's tomorrow, I'm not sure, but or later this week. But yeah, they set that up. But they also have been creating some more stories with the Young Lions. Like, they already put Dake Nagai, he's in Unbound Company with the former unaffiliated members. They have I think Yusada, he's had a relationship and he's had a mentor in Tai Chi. And then on the Monday show, they did Zane J. He lost his matchup by disqualification to Dake Nagai, and then he joined up with United Empire. But it's really like an overarching story which connects to the Will Ospreay appearance at New Year's Dash, where they're slowly but surely having Callum Newman recruit more members that aren't loyal to Will Ospreay. He's recruited Zane J. He's kind of got maybe like Akira on his side. JAY is his recruit. He's not Will Ospreay's recruit. So he's a part of this new reconstruction of the United Empire. He's got Jake Lee, but you could tell that Great Okan and Honore aren't really feeling this. They're the ones that are like, we kind of peep game on what you're doing here. Like, what are you doing here? We kind of can see what's coming. So they're going to have to be the one to make the choice when Ospreay is back. Are we going to get a United Empire Civil War, or is all the new United Empire going to turn on Will Ospreay? So I like how they connected the young lions into the storylines in New Japan and the further kind of building up of United Empire. And we should mention Callum Newman did confirm he signed a new contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I'll say it here, he's my pick to win the New Japan Cup. Because one thing you always know with New Japan is one member of a group is getting a title shot and they're not most likely not going to win. Another member of that faction is still going to get a title shot down the line. So it would make sense. Yota Tsuji beats Jake Lee at New Beginning, and then you set up his next challenger to be Callum Newman by him winning the New Japan Cup, and that's his next challenge at Sakura Genesis.
It's going to still come out that Don Callis is funding the United Empire. And
that would make sense.
Yeah,
that would make sense with his history with Ospreay.
That's right. That's right. That's still my prediction. And CMLL, I know you watched those shows as well.
I did not. I still haven't watched the Sunday show, so
okay.
I'm going to watch that, and I'll talk about that on Thursday. But I did watch the Friday show, which was great. Go out of your way to watch that. Ricochet versus Dragon. Dragon Lee. No, I'm saying Dragon.
Definitely
Lee.
Not Dragon Lee.
Teton versus Teton. That was great matchup. Like Ricochet making history, becoming the first African-American pro wrestler to main event in the Tokyo Dome, as well as main event in Arena, Mexico. I love the fact, like, he's one of the best success stories going from WWE to AEW that we've seen. He's reinvented himself. He's thriving in AEW as the first ever national champion, and with the demand, having these bangers in trios action. And then the CMLO on Friday, he just had a spectacular matchup. Like, he's busting out the sake special against Teton. He's moving up and down, doing more of his high flying moves that he's kind of toned down in AEW, hitting the shooting star press and stuff like that. And Teton was the perfect kind of opponent for him, because Teton can do the high flying, but he's more technical based. So he's always looking for Immortal, and he had a great sequence where he got both arms, but Ricochet was able to get free and get the rope break, and the crowd was going crazy. And then in the end, Ricochet pulled out the spirit gun to retain the national championship. So great spot for the national championship to be in the main event at Arena Mexico, and a great achievement for Ricochet becoming the first African American to main event Arena Mexico and the Tokyo Dome. And then I also would say go out of your way to watch Grandpa Graps.
Oh yeah,
which was Blue Panther. Yeah. Blue Panther versus Ultimo Guerrero. Oh my god, please inject that into my veins. This dude, Blue Panther, I'm watching this matchup, Jeremy. I literally had to pause my TV and be like, yo, how old is he? Because he's doing tope suicidas. He's doing cannonballs off the apron. He's taking mad bumps onto the floor. And then I looked it up, and it's like, he's 65. He is retirement age. Like, he should not be doing all of this. But he is probably the greatest 60-year-old wrestler we've ever seen. Like I said before, I think LeBron James, the greatest 40-year-old athlete we've ever seen in modern professional sports. But as far as pro wrestling, I have never seen a 60-year-old greater than Blue Panther. That was amazing to watch. It wasn't even like this spectacular match of the year candidate, but to see someone 65 years old, to see two guys that are a combined age of 118, with Ultimo Guerrero being 53 years old, this was just great to watch. I say go out of your way to watch that. Unlike a lot of people out there, I did enjoy Roderick Strong versus Hechicero. I thought that was a really fun matchup. Seeing more Roddy kind of dealing with the lucha submission specialist was a lot of fun. It take me back to a lot of his matches with like Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson, but in a different way, because Hechicero's submission and technical expertise is a lot different than even what Bryan and ZSJ can give you. And then GOA being in the Arena Mexico was a lot of fun, and it was cool to see him. And one of my favorites now, Barbanario Cavernario, who is just an ultimate gimmick. His whole gimmick is that he's basically a grown-up version of Bam Bam from the Flintstones. He even comes out with he used to come out with the Flintstone, Fred Flintstone gear when he comes out, but to see him as a babyface, because he's mostly been playing a heel as of late, it was a lot of fun to kind of see him like that. Same with Soberano Jr., who played more of the babyface as well. And I watched Saturday's show from Arena Calasino. Oh my God. This is one that I'm telling everybody to go out their way to watch. Watch that Mystico and Masquerada Dorada versus Bandito and Commander. Because if you thought CM Punk was great, like reacting to the crowd in Belfast, Ireland and playing the heel, that is only the second best performance I've seen from a babyface who had to play a heel. Because Mystico got booed out the building on Saturday, Jeremy. He was getting booed, and this dude is just doing like, he just played to it. He's like doing suck inside. I was like, what's going on here? I was like, the god of Mexico is turned into a heel before my eyes. Masquerada Dorada had to play a heel as well because Mystico was getting booed out the building. I don't know if the people there just loved Bandito and Commander or they just turned on Mystico, but oh man, it was great. They were so loud. They were loud the entire time. They're calling Mystico pedal. I'm just like, what am I watching? This feels like Earth 2. This really feels like the old school when WWE used to be in Canada and say, we're in Bizarro land, because I was like, this is insane. But like I said before, I'm going to watch the Sunday show because I want to talk about those two final matches. I think it was Teton defending the welterweight championship against Commander, and then they had Templario defending his title against Bandito. So I'll definitely talk about those on Thursday. But CMLL, they're the front runners for promotion of the year again. They were promotion of the year for 2025. They're looking like they're going to be promotion of the year for 2026.
I gotta watch the Mystico heel performance because I'm very curious to see that. You've sold me on that. I know CML puts on great shows. It's just a matter of time management for me, and I don't have a whole lot of time to manage, but I will go out of my way to watch the Mystico playing up heel stuff because that sounds very fun. Oh. All right. Anything else to touch on here, SP3?
I think that is everything. I need to rest my voice so I can talk.
Romeo's
Romeo's back today, ladies and gentlemen. That's the breaking news.
Really?
Romeo's making his first appearance on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel 2026 in about an hour.
Ask him if Karl Anthony Towns is going to be traded. I'm surprised he's showing up after the way that the Knicks have been playing. You know, he's showing his face. Good for him.
Now I'm gonna have to ask him. I'm gonna have to ask him at the top of the show, like, how you feeling, bro? Like your Knicks ain't playing so well.
How those Knicks treating you?
You know what he's gonna say? He's gonna be like, I should have never showed up for work.
Yeah. What can you do? NXT is tonight, allegedly. Number one contendership for the TNA Knockouts tag team titles. Sol Ruka and Zarya against Laney Reed and Fallon Henlin against Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray. I assume Sol and Zarya are winning this thing.
I mean, they were the only ones who showed up at TNA, the AMC premiere and TNA Genesis, so it just makes sense that, and they got into a whole brawl with the Elegance brand, so it just makes sense for Sol and Zarya to win that.
North American title, Ethan Page against Elio Lafleur. I don't think Elio's going to win just yet, but I'm glad they're introducing some new talent on this show.
I would say get ready to see some great stuff from LaFleur. I think he's been. I think I only seen one of his matches from AAA. I think he had a 3-way with Jack Cartwheel and someone else that's forgetting me, and I thought that was a great matchup. So I think that he's gonna show out in this matchup against Ethan Page, who's a great base for these luchadors.
Vanity Project against Chase U. I assume Vanity Project's going to win since they're now like fully on NXT. And then qualifying.
You know the deal. Put your 2 fingers up in the chat. We here. We lit, baby. We need to realize that Jeremy and Joel need to just call me up for Wednesdays so we can have the real C-suite when we talk about NXT, because NXT is becoming involved before our eyes. The Vanity Project really is going to take over. They're going to win tonight. Kendall Gray is going to have another great performance. We got Keanu Carver. He's showing out. He's the new horse of NXT. Put your 2 fingers up in the chat. Come on.
Qualifying matches for the dumb ladder match that they're doing. Shawn Legacy versus Eli Knight and Shiloh Hill versus Josh Briggs. Feels like Legacy and Hill win. That's my guess.
I want to say Legacy because I think Legacy is one of the best guys that they got in developmental right now or on WWE ID and Evolve. But Knight is the one who's officially signed to NXT. So unless Ava announces that Legacy has signed before tonight's show, I would lean towards Knight to pull off the upset. Even though I feel like Legacy's been losing way too much. Like, I was really surprised that Legacy lost that title match to Jackson Drake for the Evolve Men's Championship a few weeks ago. I thought that he would definitely win that one because that was like his 3rd opportunity at becoming Evolve Men's Champion. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun, this matchup. So I'll probably lean towards Knight unless Ava announced that Legacy has signed to NXT as well.
That's NXT, everybody.
And of course, Shiloh Hill's winning.
Yeah. For people asking about the Cardona being moved to alumni section, apparently he was, and he is no longer. So it seems like that was a user error where they might have been switching over like his Zack Ryder profile and to Matt Cardona, and he was obviously in the alumni section as Matt Cardona. But he's no longer in the alumni section. I'm checking the SmackDown. He's on the SmackDown roster now. So yeah, that's probably all that was. Is Zack Cardona. Zack Ryder was in the alumni section. They were redoing his profile, and instead of moving it before redoing it, they redid it and then moved it, and people noticed that he was still in the alumni section. So a bunch of nothing there is all that is. Results of our poll question. I did screw up the poll question. I simply wrote, will AJ Styles at Rumble? What? I don't know. Just will he?
Will he? Yes or no? What's the answer?
Funny enough, 50% said yes and 50% said no. This might be the most in the weeds poll question of all time, to where I screwed up the wording and it was 50-50 down the middle. So people think he will, and 50% don't think he will at all. What will he do? Who the fuck knows? What will he?
Oh, that's awesome. 50-50. Perfect 50-50.
Maybe tomorrow I'll get something right. I don't know. Josh sends us a super chat. He says, "Oh, shucky ducky quack quack. Oh yeah, man.
That's Trick, man. I made friends in my role because I was doing the Booker T ad libs during Trick's entrance. Yo, I said it in the chat yesterday. I gotta say it here. Trick Williams' entrance was my favorite experience from Friday night, being in, because that crowd loved them some Trick. They were chanting "whoop that Trick" even when the show went to commercial. It was like "whoop that Trick, whoop that Trick." It was, oh man, that was an experience. That Kit Wilson coming out was great. The Cody and Jacob Fatu brawl, Leon Slater, man, great times. But I was like, Chucky Ducky quack quack, and I had this dude with braids. He was like, "Yo, you hilarious, man." So I was like, yeah, I made some friends.
Oh yeah, man. That's that man. That's that man, Trick Williams.
That trick, man. I like it.
I don't know how you people hate on Booker T. I have no idea. I mean, I do know, but I can't do it. I can't do it. He's so good. He's so funny. Oh, what did we accomplish today, SP3?
We accomplished a lot. We talked Jimmy Butler. Hope that he's doing well coming off of his injury. Talked some NBA and my voodoo powers of what happened to the New York Knicks. We also talked about a very good episode of Monday Night Raw, the first very good episode of 2026. And Finn Balor being back, having a great performance against CM Punk. CM Punk being much better as a heel than a babyface. And we talked about how Mystico was actually better at being a heel than a babyface, even better than Punk. When we talked about CMLL and the great stuff from the road to New Beginning. We checked a lot of boxes. Jeremy had his flu game performance. He put up 50 despite not being 100%. So we accomplished a lot.
I think the biggest thing that we accomplished today is AJ Styles may or may not at Rumble.
50-50. It's 50-50 if he will.
Oh, thank you, SP3. I definitely didn't put up 50 in this game and today. You know, I stood there, I tried hard on defense, and then asked to, had to play my minutes and everything. But I appreciate you, SP3. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
You can find me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat, and go over to True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel, where I'll be live in about 30 minutes with the returning Romeo Anthony Colon. We'll be reviewing last night's Monday Night Raw as only we can. And of course, I will be asking Romeo how he feels about the downslide of the New York Knicks and if they should trade Karl Anthony Towns.
We'll be back tomorrow, myself and Joel, talking things and whatnot, and I guess NXT, unfortunately, and other stuff going on. I hope everybody has a good day. We'll talk to y'all later on. Thank you guys, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the chats, all the comments, all the support. Love you guys. Talk to y'all tomorrow.